Here we are. Welcome to another episode of the Digenet Podcast. I am Armand.
It's Raylo. What's up, man? How y'all doing?
You Tatum here.
And Raylo sounds like he's been getting a little mellow.
Getting mellow? No, I'm, I'm actually kind of wore out today. I've been doing a lot over the weekend and everything. So yeah, I'm kind of tired.
I mean,
But it's all right.
it sounds like you've been hitting that as they used to say, that wacky tobacco.
Oh no. Actually, you know what? I've cut tobacco and just smoking out completely.
So no more of the no more herb in your system.
Nah, no more herb. This is literally just from just work. I've even kind of turned it up this weekend. I feel like I have a bigger assignment in life, so I just can't let certain things slow me down. I even, you know what? I saw my brother yesterday and he was smoking and I did not like, oh, hand me the blunt. I didn't do any of that yesterday.
You didn't chastise him either, did you?
Oh no, I'll
That's
never
good.
chastise anybody for smoking.
You're not be
for
that
smoking.
guy, that
Nah.
reformed smoker who walks around touting the evils of smoking. You know, warning people that that it's a gateway to other things.
You know what? It's kind of, I feel like I need to say that, but I got to come at it with the right angle because certain people. I'm more of a person like I just not about to say something to just say something. I'd rather it be effective if I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Because I mean, like, why just say it and you ain't gonna listen anyway? Just where I could be like, oh, well, I told you. You probably ain't even remember that I told you. I mean, I look at it like from my perspective, like I can't chastise people because my weed smoking era was a part of my life and it helped me grow. It helped me grow and become more sociable. So I can't really take that away. Of course, I could have learned and taught myself how to be sociable without smoking, but smoking helped me. So
Okay.
especially smoking weed. But on the flip side of it, yes, it is a gateway. I didn't go through the gateway. I know some people who did go through the gateway.
So
I didn't go through the
so you
gateway.
believe that weed has its benefits?
It does have its benefits, yes.
Okay. And are there people that you know personally who take it for medicinal purposes, who actually take it for medicinal purposes?
No, I don't know anybody who takes it for medicinal purposes. I know people who just like smoking weed.
Okay, so you don't know anybody who has anxiety who's taking it for that, or who has like what's it called, who has
Glaucoma.
glaucoma, or
Don't
the other one where you
nobody
can't
with. I
sleep,
don't know
insomnia.
any. Nope. Don't nobody with insomnia. Don't know nobody with glaucoma.
So all
My
those people
girlfriend.
you know who have cards saying that they're taking it for some medical purposes, or
Oh,
just
cars
do it
got
to
done away
smoke.
with a long
Oh
time
no,
ago.
they did, but but you went through the error, right?
I did went through the era, and I had a certain reason. I think I said it was because I had anxiety or something stupid like
But
that.
so everyone who you knew who was taking it for that purpose, who had it prescribed, they weren't.
Yeah,
They
we were
just
just
wanted to.
lying, and no, and them doctors was not doctors.
I mean,
I don't know,
they were doctors.
man.
They were either
Man,
doctors or they were people who had a script pad, one of the two.
I don't. When I think about it, it was so stupid that they were actually doing that. Because I mean, like
Well, I mean, in the end, some doctor was getting paid.
somebody was getting paid, but it was like how you go. You know how you like instead of going to the DMV, you'll go to this random place to get your registration.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
how
yeah.
it kind of was, and it was places all over the place that you can go get it.
Okay. So you're just saying it's like, oh no, that's a little bit different because that random registration place is kind of like that's the weirdest thing. I mean, like, and let's talk about that a second, okay?
Uh,
Raymond just hit on something hilarious, okay? Those random registration places, they basically charge you extra for what you could do yourself, right?
yes,
Now, there's got to be a reason that they exist. There's got to be a reason that some people need to use them. And I don't know what
Com-
that reason is.
convenience,
Dude,
ignorance,
how convenient could it
laziness.
be? Because,
Some of them are just like okay, like when I had my restaurant, there was a lady that had one of those places, and she was making bank. One of the reasons is because she dealt with Spanish speakers. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? Like she was Spanish. Her and her daughter was making big money doing that.
Well, I mean, but
So
doesn't the DFV kind of require their people to speak Spanish?
no,
There's
hell
always got to be a Spanish
no.
speaker there, right?
There's a Spanish speaker there. Like, come on, I think we talked about this. I got an auntie that, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
You better no. Speak English. I don't understand what you're saying to me, sir. That's how she will handle a
I get it,
situation.
but doesn't isn't she required to
Nope.
get somebody Spanish speaking? Because I know with the
That's
DMV, I
that's
mean,
your require. That's your requirement. You in my country. You need to
well,
learn how to
I
speak
get that, but no,
English.
but if you go to the DMV, they actually have these. I mean, everything's in multiple languages, right? And it tells you that you can request an interpreter.
Yeah, and you go through a different line. You're not gonna come to her. And it's probably. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's gonna be a longer line, but
I think
hey,
it's a
it's gonna
short.
be
I
a
mean,
different line.
actually, I think they're supposed to bring somebody in to interpret. Because when I go to the
Yeah.
DMV, like okay, so you guys know I'm out here in the high desert, right?
Uh,
And I'm finding the high desert DMV out here is the best DMV I've ever been to. I've never
you
been
think
to a
so?
dude. It's awesome. I've never been to a DMV where the lines moved so fast. The
You
lines
know
are just
what?
boom.
The
They're
one
moving.
that my auntie works at is like that though.
Yeah, but this is crazy. How I'm in and out in like 20, 30 minutes. It's pretty
Mm,
amazing. Well, it depends on what I'm there for, right?
yeah.
And when I go there, I see it a lot. I see people coming to. I mean, I think there's something like 40 separate checkout. There's 40 separate helping stations.
Yeah.
And when I'm there, I'm always constantly seeing these other people going to help out at stations who speak Spanish. So every time somebody who speaks Spanish comes to a station, the person calls up if they can't speak Spanish. They've got like 10 people there just for that,
Yeah.
and they go and they interpret at that station. They're just constantly going, so it's quick. And I'm saying a good half of the people going to that DMV are Spanish only. A good half.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, there's quite a few Russian people.
Oh. Yeah, you like in certain areas you'll be surprised. Like I know the Hollywood DMV is very nice too. Um you will see a lot of Jewish people
Okay, I believe that.
at the Hollywood
Dude,
DMV.
the DMVs around here, like, they're the true. I guess if you really want to see America, go to a DMV
DMV, yeah.
because they got these are the things that all Americans have to go through. I mean, like, and there's only a few. There's only a few shared cultural experiences that we'll ever have, right? And the DMV is
True.
one of them.
Yep.
Okay, it's because everybody's got to drive. Well, it depends on what state you're in, but in California, especially Los Angeles County, you must drive. There was a song in the '80s by a group called Missing Persons, which is kind of funny. The song's nobody walks in L.A. Right?
True.
And
Well, nah. I know I had a walking phase too.
well, remember, we're using the majority of people, right? Nobody walk.
Uh,
So L.A. is so synonymous with cars, right?
yeah.
And other cities make fun of us because of our really crappy public transportation system.
I don't think it's crappy. Why do they say it's crappy?
Well, no, the thing is that they make fun of us because it doesn't really improve because not enough of us use it. Because if you've ever been to the Bay Area, like San Francisco, their public transportation is just completely packed. It's always used. Bay Area rapid transit is the preferred means of them getting around.
Okay, yeah, I
Like,
get it.
like I
But
had an ex.
they're more in a condensed environment.
Well, I had an ex. We were staying out. She was staying out in where was that? Redwood City. Okay, Redwood City is a further away suburb of San Francisco, and she was working in the city itself, right? And she had a car, obviously, and she was a lawyer. Okay, she would actually. I think this was when she was interning up. Anyway, she would park her car at a BART station and take the train into the city, and take a train back out. Just like people who work in New York but live in Connecticut, Connecticut and New
Yeah.
Jersey are I mean, those states are suburbs of New York City. People
True.
train in 2 hours and train out
Right.
in order to work. It's
Make
weird. That's the
money.
way. So places like New York, San Francisco, Chicago, their public transportation systems are really advanced and they're really packed. The people use them.
Yeah.
Right over here, dude. Okay, so it's such a stereotype that there was a movie. You guys got to watch this. I'm pretty sure neither one of you have seen this. Number one, because it's in the '80s. Number two, it's a pretty white movie. Okay, it's called L.A. Story.
Okay.
Okay, And, watch it if you're an Angelino, especially if you're an Angelino who lived here at any point in the 80s. And it feels very, very, very familiar. There's one scene where it stars Steve Martin. He's a weatherman. Mm-hmm. And Steve Martin is on the phone with his best friend, and she's trying to get him to come over to the house to check something out. And he's like, hold on, I'm about to get my car. He gets into his car and literally drives to the next house over. His car's in the street. He gets in. He drives over one driveway, and he gets out because his neighbor his friend lives next door.
Yeah,
right. That's the attitude of driving here. I mean, Angelinos won't walk, for the most part. Of course, there's some people who will. I mean, remember when I say Angelinos won't walk, when I say anything like that, it doesn't mean everybody doesn't walk. It just means the great majority of people.
In the hood, we walking, bro.
Yeah, but the great majority of Angelinos do not walk, right? So if good example, look at cars driving okay, so there's a laziness level everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. Look on the freeway. Look at these gigantic SUVs driving around and count the passengers in them.
One.
Mostly one. Right?
Yeah.
People just don't want a carpool, right? And there's other states out there, other cities where carpooling is a thing. Carpooling at work, they actually organize carpools. People take turns driving. They pick each other up to drive to work for purposes of alleviating traffic, saving on gas, whatever. Not us.
I think that would be fun.
And it could be fun, but not us. We all drive solo everywhere we go, right? It's just the way that there's nothing like LA car culture. This is where car culture was born, and this is where it thrives, and this is where it's at its least efficient.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's funny. I ran into a takeover yesterday, which is the evolution of the car meetup.
Were they doing donuts in the giant intersection?
Oh my God! The funny thing about it, I peeped it. I'm good at getting away from takeovers because they do it in my area. I saw it and I was like, okay, boom, hit down the other street. And as soon as I hit down the other street, it's somebody just singular from the whole pack doing donuts in the street. So I had to wait for him to finish doing his donuts. Then I can go.
Yeah.
I think that, man, I wish I would have saved this video. I think that's a very unique thing. I've never seen it in no other state where they shut down a freeway for a little while and start doing donuts in the middle of the freeway, and everybody's outside of their car watching everybody do donuts until the police show up.
That's just ridiculous. They do it out here quite often. It happens.
Oh, it's a takeover every weekend. There's probably a takeover going on right now.
There's a takeover happening every night around. And you can hear them. People are, because the reason why it's so popular out here is because I guess there's fewer people, so it's not as inconvenient, and there's emptier streets with bigger intersections. And there's areas where you go. I mean, you see them. You go out there, and there's just donut marks.
Yes.
Right. So people head out to the empty high desert and just do takeovers and do donuts. Right.
Oh, I can only imagine the high desert.
And they can do it for as long as they want because nobody's coming. No one's gonna stop that party.
Yeah, I don't think the police is even worried about that.
I mean, they will break it up here if you're on a main street, if you're on a boulevard or something where there's actual people. But where I see the big donut marks, I ride my motorcycle around and I go riding out to the mountains, right? And there's an area, if you head out of my area a little bit, and there's this big tract of land that was gonna be new homes, and they probably will be eventually, but construction, I mean, they just subdivided it, put up big walls, and there's really big streets, and and nobody goes there yet. And that area is prime for that. You get tons of that kind of stuff. You even, this is the nuts one. On the 2 Angeles Crest Highway, I see areas up there where they've done, dude, one wrong move and you're off a cliff. And you see donut marks up there. It's crazy. But, we got sidetracked by some, while I was bringing up the whole thing where Raymond brought up somebody who does registration. Right? So business is business, and all business, if legal, is valid. But there are some businesses that I just don't get, right? So I know that the registration people, there must be something that they do. There must be a kind of client that they deal with that needs them. It's not just a convenience thing. It's got to be something that they can get done that other people can't. Right? There's got to be some reason why people need them.
Probably.
Maybe dealing with cars that have a weird history. Like,
I mean, probably, yeah, because I mean, like, I even think about it. You can go get your registration inside the grocery store now.
well, the DMV kiosks, yeah, the DMV
Yeah.
kiosks, and now also DMV the actual branches no longer do registration work at all. Period. Nothing.
Really?
Yeah, if
Unless it's like something unique.
unless it's something that is like the system is like your car, you can't enter your VIN, it won't take it. Maybe
Yeah, I just recently had to, I had to transfer titles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
So if it's something unusual that you can't do at the kiosk, then they'll do it. But I was at the DMV and there's all this stuff out there saying we do not do registration, we do not do all they only handle license renewals that like I just renewed mine, and since I was able to do it online, my renewal slip indicated that I could not do it at the DMV. So if you're eligible to do it online, they will not allow you to go in the DMV to do it. Okay, so they're really trying to minimize traffic to the DMV.
yeah.
Okay, but there's got to be a reason why they exist. But I was looking at this other thing. This is crazy. So I was so something we've never talked about on the podcast yet. But one of the things that we do for ourselves and for people who work with us, going into this digital entrepreneurship world, is we help people to organize themselves as entities, right?
Right.
Whether they're LLCs or they're corporations, we help guide people towards what's right for them and the best way to do it. And one methodology that we use is to create limited liability companies in the state of Montana. Okay, we do that for a lot of purposes, but one of the purposes is if you're going to be acquiring multiple vehicles. Okay, it's a great way to minimize taxation. It's a great way to minimize ongoing costs, because vehicle registration costs in Montana are significantly lower than other states.
Significant.
But one issue that some of our friends have faced is the issue of financing. Okay, so a lot of folks out there who work with us have the luxury of paying upfront for vehicles, cash, right? No financing, vehicles free and clear. Okay, but if you need to finance that vehicle, the question has arisen: what banks can I use to finance a vehicle using my Montana LLC?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was, I had a couple minutes today. I was researching that, and I saw something funny.
What'd you
I
see?
ended up on the website talking about vehicle financing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, except and this was a site that was encouraging registering vehicles in Montana, right?
Uh-huh.
And they have requirements. What do you need to register a vehicle? Then they were showing a bunch of lists of things you need to do. And then, of course, one of these things is to establish an entity in Montana, which is specifically an LLC, and then to get an EIN. And it's funny. On the website, it says, don't have an EIN yet? Click the button now and get one. It only costs $50. Right? Now, I see Quentin smirking. Quentin, why are you smirking?
How much does it cost to do it yourself?
Well, you should know. How much does it cost
Free?
to do it yourself? It is free. You do not need to pay the IRS
To get
for
an
an
EIN.
employer identification number. It's
No.
free. And the IRS website specifically says EINs are free. Do not pay to get an EIN. It says that on the IRS website, right? Here's what's crazy. So this company is encouraging people to establish LLCs and to get the EINs for banking purposes and finance purposes. And obviously they charge to help you establish an LLC, which I feel is legitimate, right? Not everybody wants to do crazy research to figure it out themselves, right? So charging you to do an LLC, that's not a big deal, okay? But charging for the EIN is, okay? And the reason why I think it's a big deal is this. Establishing an LLC, there's a lot of things you have to consider, and there's a lot of research that has to be done. Paying somebody to have that knowledge for you is one thing. Okay? They've acquired it over time, and you're paying for their knowledge. Okay, and then they help you go through the process. Now the EIN, that's a whole different story, because when you pay somebody to do your EIN, you have to give them all the information. So because what they're going to do is they're going to log on to the IRS website and enter your info for you. Could you have entered that info? So how are you going to give it to them in the first place? Usually you submit a document. They're going to ask you for information. You're going to have to type it in and send it to them, right? You could have as easily typed it into the IRS website instead of typing and give it to them, have them retype it again. Will it take longer? Yes, it will take longer if they do it and you don't. It's just nuts. You're paying money for it to take longer, and you're still entering the same information that you had to if you went straight to the website. And it's not like, so establishing an entity, whether it's a corporation, an LLC, that takes research. There's reasons why you want to do it certain ways, and you have to learn it all. Well, you don't have to. You can pay somebody to learn it for you, but it has to be learned. Okay, there's nuance. How many ways are there to get an EIN number? One. Right? Okay, and there's only like 2 instances where it's even qualified. You have to be an entity. You have to be an LLC, or you can't be a sole proprietor. I mean, like on the IRS website, it asks you these questions. Are you, and there's a bunch of bubbles, and you fill the right one in. It tells you if you can get one or not.
Yeah, I think I got it as a sole proprietor.
What's that?
I got mine as a sole proprietor.
You sure about that? Check it out.
Yeah.
EINs, no, as a sole proprietor, you're supposed to use your SS number.
I mean, I got an EIN.
No, let's double check. Hold on. Actually, it may be closed already. But let's see.
We can come back to that one.
Quentin.
But I definitely have an EIN.
IRS closes at 7 to 10 Eastern Standard Time.
So it doesn't even let you get into it?
No, you
Wait a minute. The IRS website closes?
Yeah, because it's only open during live hours.
Oh, wow.
Wait, Quentin, look that up. I believe in order... Well, actually, yes, you can get an EIN as a... Yeah, you can, actually. But it's not good for credit purposes as a sole proprietor.
Oh, yeah. No. I definitely couldn't get credit with that. I couldn't start getting credit until we get this LLC situation. But as you were talking about with banks, until you brought up that Bank of America does not like Montana Montana LLCs, I didn't realize why I got denied. Because I got denied by them.
For what?
I tried to get a business credit card.
Well, no. I never said that. They do like I have several through them.
Through Bank of America?
Yes.
Finance?
What were you saying the other day?
No. Okay, you misheard me. They don't like to finance vehicles.
They just don't like to finance the vehicles?
I have several Bank of America credit cards for my LLCs.
Oh.
All of them over $10,000 limits. Right off the bat. Right. Yeah, so they're fine with credit cards. They're fine with loans. They just don't like to do vehicles. Now, they will do a vehicle if it's a fleet is it a fleet? I believe it's a fleet purchase. Vehicles, so financing through them, the vehicles have to be over 2,500 pounds. So if you want to buy, so basically it's an equipment purchase. So if you want to buy like a heavy duty truck or like a dump truck or something over 2,500 pounds, I think Suburbans actually are heavy enough to qualify for that. So a real hardcore full size SUV, you'll be able to finance it for your LLC at B of A. Your Montana LLC, that is. Okay. But yeah, B of A just has issues with financing Montana vehicles, and that's something I got secondhand. I've never experienced that myself. I've never tried. Okay, and the person, and you got to realize the bankers at these banks they sometimes say stuff without knowing the truth. So when they say, our friend was told that they just don't like financing Montana vehicle purchases because of the possibility that the person buying the vehicles is trying not to pay taxes. that probably is not the case. That's speculation on behalf of the representative. That's his, like, you've seen those disclaimers. It's like where like a radio show is on, like it's a syndicated radio show, and it's like like, welcome to the Raylo McDaniel show. The views supported by this show are not necessarily supported by KLOS, right? There's a disclaimer saying the things that Raymond's saying the station doesn't believe in, right?
Right.
So that's the situation. These representatives in the bank are just throwing out their own opinions. That's not, they may not know that that's why Bank of America is doing it or not. Because I'm sure that there's Bank of America branches in Montana that are financing vehicles being purchased by people. So I guess if you went to a B of A branch, if you opened up your actual account in Montana and talked to your banker on the phone, they would have no problem financing you for vehicles, even purchased out of state.
So you got to call the B of A in Montana.
I don't know. I've never done that before, but all I know is that, yeah. So there's excuses for why they won't do it. And one of the reasons why is the representatives probably don't even know how. Right? They encounter this thing. So I'll give you a funny scenario. There have been a few times, because you guys know that I was previously in wholesale lending.
Yeah.
Right. I've run across banks where I wanted to use loan programs in a certain way, and I was told that I couldn't. And I held meetings with them and specifically went through the guidelines and pointed out that there was nothing in there that said I couldn't. Right. So I had properties passed through for FHA programs that FHA lenders didn't even realize would qualify. Okay. You can know their programs better than they do. Perfect example, this house. This house was purchased using a program that is normally used for refinances only. And when I told the lenders I wanted to purchase this house using that specific program, they told me, no, it's not for purchases. This is for refis only. And I went through I said, no, it's like, it's not, look at the guidelines. It's really for financing of these specific kinds of residences. It doesn't say refinancing, it's financing. So it's either new money, it could be anything, it could be a purchase. And they went, I had to do several meetings and they agreed. It can be used to purchase these products. And obviously, wow. So I'm sitting in one of the rooms right now.
Huh. They was probably just hating because they didn't think about it.
Yeah, it's like they never even had the question asked. Like no one's ever tried to buy one with that program before. It's like this program's usually used to pull money out of a house. And it's like you guys are buying one with it. Yeah, we are.
Yep. And how are you gonna stop? I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And they went there, yeah, they had to do it. They had to do it. The reps at the banks hated me because I made them look stupid because they kept saying it couldn't be done, right? And then after it could be done, they had to put it through. They weren't cooperative. I mean, like, they would drag their feet and everything I needed, but they had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I ended up interfacing directly with the underwriters because I was asking questions. Because since we were using it for that purpose, these reps in the banks had no idea about most of the requirements on purchases. They'd never dealt with them. Because it's an entire room full of guys who do refis. They've never done purchases. So all the requirements, they have no clue. They didn't know anything about it. So, yeah, so the bank reps don't know everything. Right? They mostly only know what's popular going through their... So programs that they use a lot, that's what they know.
Mm-hmm.
Seldom used programs, they do not. Right? So, yeah, that's why I wouldn't give that any credence. But, yeah, so that's what I point out. There's people out there who earn a living through businesses that essentially... I don't know if we should say they shouldn't exist or not. It's like, what was that thing? What was that show they were talking about? They called it like Slavery with More Steps. What was that?
That was a bit from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, a bit. It's a bit from Rick and Morty. Slavery with More Steps, right? Well,
Yeah.
that's like a
Slavery with
business.
extra steps.
Like, think about it. Like, getting an EIN through a third party is just more steps to the same thing with more money spent, right? You could just
Right.
jump across the line. It's like having 5 brokers in a deal,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
And then somebody knows your EIN number.
But yeah, there's somebody that wasn't that somebody that knows your EIN number, right? That's more ways for then more they know more than that. What do you have to provide to get an EIN number?
The social.
Yeah, there's somebody out there who knows your social, who didn't have to
Yeah.
know it.
Didn't have to
So
know
there's
it.
someone who knows your social, the address you're using potentially, right? Who knows why you're getting it, right? But but the social is involved every time. There's no way to escape that. They know your social and they know your EIN for that company. So they can steal your credit in 2 ways. they
Right.
can steal your identity personally, and they can steal your identity as a company.
Right.
Why do you really want
It's
to
all
go?
bad.
Yeah, there's no reason to risk that. And even if they don't steal it, ever heard the term data breach? Right? You're in some database for them, right?
Yeah.
And so they can have a data breach where somebody steals your data from them. All sorts of bad things can happen.
Man, it's just. I mean, I don't know because I've ran across those type of people. I never did it, but I always was like, man, that's an interesting business. Like, just go and be like, oh, I'll set up your EIN or I'll do this and charge somebody $1,000.
Yeah, charging $1,000 is something they could have done themselves. Now, I think it's perfectly okay if considerable research has to be done to do it, right? But thing is, if you walked into a bank trying to open up a business bank account, even the guy in the bank could tell you how to get an EIN number,
Uh huh.
right? Right off the bat. Like, he may not be able to tell you how to get an LLC or how to get a corporation set up. Okay, because there's a lot of choices in those setups that have to be done. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made. Okay, he may not be able to do that, but he can definitely tell you how to get an EIN. Like, dude, just go to the IRS website, just type in Google IRS space EIN, and it will actually pop. But the funny part is when you type that, the very first things that pop up are companies that are charging you for it. Okay, so even when you search IRS EIN, IRS is not the first thing that pops up. Somebody who wants to charge you $50 for an EIN is.
That's wild.
Because they're paying for it. Google searches, all those browser searches, the first 3, at least the first 3 results are sponsored results.
True.
There are people paying to be the first 3.
I mean, I don't look at it as a scam. Do you look at that as scamming?
It's not, well, I don't know. I mean, it kind
I
of,
don't look at taking advantage of somebody's ignorance as scamming. To me, I don't.
I mean, at
If you're
best,
stealing, I
at
get
best,
one
it's
thing.
at best it's a finesse,
It's a finesse. There you go.
right?
I respect a finesse.
Okay,
I don't respect scamming, but
I mean, in a way, it
I
is
definitely
okay. Like,
respect
okay,
finesse.
so when people come to me, like, for example, okay, what do I when I do a done for you? So there's multiple ways that people can work with us at Digenet, right? You can do a DIY, a do it yourself, right?
Uh-huh.
You can do a done with you, and you could do a done for you. Like, a DIY is when you purchase an instructional video,
Right.
right? Low price, and basically it walks you through the education. Basically, it takes you to all the steps you need to do without you having to search those steps out. Right? That's what it does, and it allows you to fill in those blanks in the steps yourself. Right? The done with you is a scenario where you have access to that kind of video, plus you have like a group coaching call. So you can watch the videos, and if you have any issues that you didn't understand, you can ask about it in the group coaching call. That's a done with you. Now, done for you is when all you do is you fill out a questionnaire, and then next thing you know, you've got an LLC, bank account, everything is just dumped on you, right? So it's a matter of time savings, right? But the thing is I tell everyone who I end up working with is that the information to do this is out there. If you want to invest your time, you can just, if you're good at searching, in a few hours of searching, you'll probably learn all this stuff, right? If you're good at searching and you have a good analytical, common sense mind. Okay, you can probably get this all figured out for yourself. You don't need me, right? You can literally, if you got time to kill, depends on who you are. It could take you longer time or less time, but you can have all this. You can find all yourself and save a significant amount of money. Okay, whether it's setting up a company or building a website, right? We charge a fair amount to build a website, but you can definitely do it yourself at a much cheaper price, right?
Definitely can do it for a much cheaper price.
Now, depending on who you are, it could take quite a while.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no accounting for your previous experience and skill, right? If you have previous experience and skill, you can bang this out pretty quick, right? Especially if you're really good at understanding and comprehending instructions. If you don't, this could take a while. I've seen people take years to do it, trying to do it themselves. I've seen other people take months or weeks, right? The shortest is like a few weeks, but that usually they've done one before.
Right. Like me.
Yeah. If you haven't done one, even if you've done one before and you haven't done one in a while, you kind of have to relearn it as you do it again, right?
Yeah, true. I the last website I did, to do the last part as far as submitting it, that was a relearn. I had to use YouTube videos and all types of stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit of a refresher. You need to every time you do it, right?
Yeah, that's why you kind of have to just constantly do it.
Yeah, it's constantly
just do it for the sport.
But really, if you're gonna only do it once in your life or twice in your life, you should just pay somebody to do it, because honestly, it'll take you if you got the money, because it'll take you just too much time, right? So if you have that money, you're probably better off paying for it, because the amount of time you save is worth more than the money you're spending, right? But if you want to make a business out of that, if you're going to be doing it constantly, yeah, you should do it yourself. Do it done with you the first time, so you help through it, and then do it yourself afterwards. Just keep, but it can be done. But the problem is this. This is what I'm finding, and tell me if you think this is a fair assessment, guys. As a race of creatures, okay. Are we getting dumber?
Yes.
I think we are.
You want my honest one on that one, man?
Yeah. Are we getting dumber?
Yes.
Yeah, we've
for the simple fact that cell phone in your hand and you don't use it for the right purposes. And then some people, I even had a lady on the phone, mind you, I'll say that again, on the phone, asking, where is my cell phone?
What?
It's ear. It's on your ear. Talking on the phone, asking everybody, have you seen my cell phone? Have you seen my cell phone? You're on it.
Was she referencing a different cell phone, or was she talking on the phone in her hand?
No, she was asking, has anybody seen her cell phone while she was talking on the phone?
Yeah,
she was asking everybody in the office, have you seen my cell phone?
Is this somebody you work with?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I think that person was having a moment. That's a moment. But the reason why I ask is this, okay? Scams are rampant now, right? You guys know that. Scams are everywhere. And people are falling for them. Okay? Now,
some of the scams are kind of like, some of these scams is a little bit, they thought some of these out.
They did. But for the most part, okay, so have you guys ever heard, it's a super controversial book called The Bell Curve?
Yeah.
Have you ever read it? I actually have
I thought that was something they taught in school.
Not really. In college.
The grade curve.
College, maybe. But
it was in college.
I have a copy here somewhere. Quentin, look it up. The Bell Curve. Who's the author? He's quite a famous academic.
I want to say I learned that.
Charles A. Murray.
That's Charles Murray. He's written a bunch. He's written books in economics. Now, the Bell Curve. Is there a description of the book there, Quentin? Is there an abstract?
I got Wikipedia.
Read it to me.
The Bell Curve, Intelligence and Class Structure in American Life is a 1994 book by the psychologist Richard J. Herrenstein and the political scientist Charles Murray, in which the authors argue that human intelligence is substantially influenced by both inherited and environmental factors, and that there is a better predictor of many personal outcomes, including financial income, job performance, birth out of wedlock, and involvement in crime than is individuals' parental socioeconomic status. They also argue that those with high intelligence, the cognitive elite, are becoming separate from those of average and below average intelligence, and that this separation is a source of social division within the United States.
Okay, so this is not speculation. They're not saying what they think or what they've observed by looking at crowds of people. They're using information from governmental testing. Okay, and now this is really controversial, for a few reasons. Some people find it controversial because they believe government testing has bias. Now, some people believe that. Okay, other people are just offended by the results. Okay, I'm not going to go into what they found out, but basically they identified that basically all the different individual races of humans, like the ethnicities, have distinctly different intelligence levels. That actual ethnicities of people are smarter than others when it comes to intelligence, IQ.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe that one.
Right, but that's what government testing supports.
Yeah, okay. I know. That's why I can kind of believe in like the bias.
Well, but here's the thing, though. But what's funny is this. Now we all know that what's it called? I'm blanking on words today. What is something that they apply to a whole group of people? It's a like I'll give you an example. Like, saying that all Asians can't drive. Stereotypes. Yeah. Okay. That's stereotypes exist for a reason. Okay. They may not be, it usually exaggerates something that people have encountered over and over again. Right?
True.
Okay. So, like, one stereotype is that all Asians are good at math. Have you ever heard that one? Asian people are good
I've heard that one, and I've experienced that one.
Yeah. And so it's true.
I've experienced both sides.
What's that?
I've experienced both sides.
What do you mean both sides?
Some aren't good at math.
Well, some, of course, individual people, yes. But
I've experienced some dumb Asians.
Yeah, but based on this, remember, that's what remember, in the bell curve refers to the shape, right? It's a graph. It's a graph of IQs, intelligence levels. At the very far left end, the lowest range. So, okay, as you move to the right on the x-axis on this graph, you have intelligence, the IQs being larger. As you move up the y, you have populations getting larger. Okay, so the number of people who are in the lowest level of IQ range in the far left is real low, and then it moves upwards as the IQ rises, and it peaks out, okay, in the middle, and it comes back down. And so it's supported that the great majority of people fall somewhere in the middle, the average area, average intelligence, okay? There's a huge difference between average intelligence and low intelligence, okay? And there's also a huge difference between average intelligence and high intelligence, okay? Now, what they've determined is that, there are people from all races scattered throughout that spectrum. Okay, but what they've found out is that they're not scattered evenly. More people from specific races fall into different parts of the spectrum. That's what they discovered. And so this is not speculation. This is what they actually found, right? That's why it's so controversial. Okay, people just are angered by. The information's out there, but when you put it together, it doesn't make a bunch of people happy.
True.
Right? Okay. And I'm forgetting why. Okay. So what I'm discovering, though, is this. that even people who are supposed to be highly intelligent, even people who are highly intelligent, are see. There's different kinds of intelligence, and I'm not talking about like emotional intelligence and EQ, that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that, or spatial intelligence. Okay, I'm talking about smart versus street smart.
True.
Okay, and when I say street smart, I'm more really talking about common sense smart. So you don't need to have a lot of real world experience to have common sense. For some people, it's just built in. Okay, other
Yeah.
people get more common sense by experiencing the world, right?
Right.
Like you can experience them. I mean, like a good example. If you walk up to you've never seen it before, but you walk up to one of those radiators in an old house. You ever seen that? Cast iron radiator in an old house
Oh yeah, yeah.
that keeps
Accordion.
what?
It's like an accordion.
It looks like an accordion. Yeah, they're hot, right? Should you touch them?
No.
No. Now there's two ways to know that. One way to know that is somebody told you don't touch it, it's hot, and you don't touch it.
Right.
Another way to know that is you touched it and it was hot. Now you know how to touch it.
Or the smartest people walk by and be like, "Oh, that's hot," and don't touch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, either you're told it, okay, you experienced it, or there were signs about it that you understood without having to be told or experience it. Like you're walking by it and you can see waves of heat rising off it, and your mind, oh, that's probably hot. I shouldn't touch that, right?
Yeah.
Or as you get near it, you feel the warmth. I shouldn't touch that. Kind of like fire.
Yeah,
Right.
I think like it kind of goes back to what we were originally talking about with me and drug usage. I saw people use certain drugs, and I was like, "Yep, don't need to do that."
So
And
other
guess
people's
what?
experiences were internalized as your own. And you said, nope, not for me.
Yep. And I've never done. I've seen people, man, especially like because we're in a pill era. I would say the pill epidemic is way worse than crack ever was.
Really?
Like, heck yeah. I mean, like the only thing is like, no, yeah, I think it's worse because I would say, oh, we got like crack. Seeing crack people turn into crackheads was different. I mean, but that's because it happened in urban communities where people didn't realize it. If you go to some of these, and it's only in liberal areas, the open air drug markets like they got in Skid Row, or like how they be showing Portland, or how they show Toronto, those are crackheads. Those are like that's way worse than I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, what do you mean worse? What about it's worse?
Man, like how they operate. Like I remember I was watching like a YouTube video on Portland, and like people will overdose, just overdose, and like Narcan. You know what Narcan
Yeah,
is?
it's something you inject in somebody's nose. It's like a
It
inhalable.
was they were giving that out to people. Like
Oh,
people
dude,
had Narcan on them.
that's common now. It's like it's being pushed in
You see,
schools.
that's why I'm saying that's not supposed to be common.
I understand. So your definition of worse is different than what I'm thinking. See, to me, the reason why crack was so bad, I mean, crack and meth, stuff like that. The users, I mean, the debilitated users have a very specific look. They
Yeah,
they look like, I mean, like, what is it? Meth makes your teeth fall out. Like,
yeah,
suckers missing teeth, their skin covered in lesions. They look awful. They now I find today's pill users are just a bunch of dopey looking people. They don't have the physical sign. It doesn't look like the drugs are destroying their bodies.
no, the drugs definitely destroyed. Like some of the ones I've seen, drugs definitely destroy their body. Especially if you get in the head of if you get into fentanyl. Fentanyl, I think, is way more
Okay.
dangerous because people are selling stuff that they know that can kill you.
Oh, I mean, it can kill you, but what do they look like? I mean, like, what? See, the thing about these drugs, and this is why they're so dangerous, is that people die from them and nobody even realized they were taking them.
Yeah,
Like it can kill you in one shot, right?
it can kill you in one shot.
And that's what's see. This is why to me crack and heroin were so bad, and meth. It's just that because the addicts the crackheads, let's just call them crackheads, they look terrible. they look like the undead. They look like ghouls, right?
Yeah.
Like whereas people who use modern drugs, I mean, think about it. I mean, almost everything can have fentanyl in it nowadays, right? Other drugs,
Yeah.
like you get, what was it? You get you get ecstasy. It could have fentanyl in it, right?
Yeah.
Right. You don't even know when it's going to have it in it, right?
Nah.
It's just that they don't look like a bunch of debilitated crackheads, and then they drop dead, right?
True.
See, at least with the crackheads, you expected them to die at some point in time. It's like, look at that crackhead, like that dude's gonna.
Nah, but you know what? A lot of crackheads didn't die.
I mean, they should. I mean, they look like they should die. I mean,
They look like it, but a
they
lot of
look
them
tremendously
survived.
unhealthy. But that's my thing. That's the reason why these current drugs don't. No, people aren't as scared of them. You know, I mean, look at all the people who are willingly doing drugs nowadays. All the kids, the young people,
Yeah.
are willingly taking these drugs to chase these. You know, because they're designer drugs. They're designed to have a certain. I mean, what's it called? The high itself is a little bit. It's controlled in a way. Right?
Yeah.
And they all go in it knowing what they're getting into, and when, I mean, you can't look at them and say that's like, okay, with a crackhead you can look at them, that's a crackhead, right? Heroin user, like you know, look at
I
this
see
person.
what you're saying
You know
now.
what I'm saying?
Like,
They don't look like walking death, and then they
yeah.
die.
Yeah, like right now, what we're dealing with lean, right? Where
Mm.
this is like, I mean, even though it's a prescription drug, people call it liquid heroin, and people walk around like you'll of course you'll see a lean head, and they're operating. The
Yeah.
only thing is like, I mean, I ain't gonna say I've experienced it, but I know people where when they explain the real behind lean usage, it's like, why are you taking this? And it becomes visible after you drink a lot of it. You start to develop a belly.
Yeah, you start to make, well, that could be a bunch of. I mean, lean's like weed, right? Like weed doesn't have. I mean,
Lean, like I'm not gonna say I'm a lean head, but I've sipped it before, and that is way more intense than weed.
no. That's not what I mean by when I say lean's like weed. It's not not the effect of it. Basically, how it affects your body. I mean, like, you know, nobody has. What I'm talking about is like, you know, things like crystal meth. It's
yeah. You lose
the
your
physical result of crystal meth is just. I mean, it's destroying your actual physical body. Teeth are falling out.
Right.
You have all these lesions opening. I mean, like, it looks. There's something not right with you, right?
So what you're saying is the new stuff, the designer stuff, does not
Doesn't have the
equate
physical
to any
attributes.
kind of physical outward effect.
Yeah, like
You don't see,
weed,
can't
like
tell.
weed. You just look dopey, right? When you're not high, you look like a regular person. Dude, somebody on crystal meth, when they're not high, well, most of them are high all the time because they have to be. They're completely addicted to it. But when, you know, it has a toll on your physicality, right? Like, look at Amy Winehouse before she died. I mean, that's a was she multi-platinum? She's a Grammy-winning singer making tons of money, missing teeth. I mean, how does that happen? Like, her teeth are falling out because of her drug abuse, right? She's chosen to abuse some pretty ravaging, and that's what the word I'm looking for is that. Certain drugs ravage your physical body. Other drugs just control your mind, right? So a person on weed.
She was a special case, though.
Why do you say she's a special case?
Have you seen her documentary?
Well, I mean, tell us why is she a special case. I've not seen the documentary.
Are you skipping? Oh, like her documentary, like, man, like, it was actually sad watching her documentary, man. Like, it is really like the drug usage. Like, I think she did like, her father had like addiction problems and stuff like that. But like, her biggest thing was just alcohol at one point in time. It got worse the more she had to perform, and she didn't want to perform. She really used the drugs and everything to kind of cope with what she had to go through. And at a certain point in time, it was like, well, you got to go on tour anyway. And it was like when she was on, like, it was crazy watching her perform, and people were like screaming and clapping for her. And she had a drink in her hand. It was like you guys kind of watched her destroy herself. That was a very that was like one of the darkest documentaries I ever seen in my life. I couldn't believe that happened to her.
No, so
I was a big fan of her.
So she was using it to deal with performance anxiety. So go ahead and share with Raymond your router experience.
Yeah. Yesterday I was trying to upload the newest episode. Go check that out on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Digenet Podcast. Well, episode 8. But yeah, I was uploading it, and it it was moving slow. I was uploading it, and I was also trying to watch Cash Money versus No Limit, and it just kept skipping. I couldn't believe it. I was like, not my internet skipping. Like, what's really going on? But
it happens. I mean, yeah, and periodically, you just want to unplug your router and your modem. Unplugging the router and the modem oftentimes alleviates the problem. So I'm feeling some FOMO that Raymond's giving me.
Some FOMO.
Gotta know though, Raymond. Cash Money versus No Limit. What happened?
What you mean? Oh, the verses?
Yeah, I didn't. I heard it was gonna happen, but did it happen?
It happened. I liked it. I ain't gonna front. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't like, everybody was like, oh, it's a celebration for New Orleans because they're both from New Orleans.
All right.
But it, for me, it just like, it was kind of nostalgic because like I remember my uncle worked for like Master P, so I used to get all their music, and was a big No Limit fan. But then like Cash Money, like that was like I don't know, that was just like a big era in us growing up. I mean, but man, one of the things that kind of just threw me off, and it was like I can't. I'm not trying to talk negative about the guy, but it's just I just gotta point this out, right? So the owner of Cash Money Records, Birdman, he got up on the stage, and of course he performed some songs because he got a couple hits too, and he got up there, and he got to speak his truth, and he said that I was the one who started this stunning shit. I'm the one who started these tattoos and having tattoos in your face. And I was just like, I don't think we did that. That started. That's just all. I was like, yo, I don't think we did that. That started. Like, when you kind of look at Birdman, like, yes, he is a very, very successful music mogul. A lot of people give him his props because most people in music will be like, oh, there's no money in music. And they start doing clothes, they start doing liquor, start doing other things. Birdman only stuck to music. And even right now, he always attaches to the hot artists. He had Lil Wayne at one point in time. Of course, he had the Hot Boys when he first started off. Then he got Drake and Nicki Minaj. Now he has NBA YoungBoy. It's just like, it seems like he's never going to stop because he only focuses on music. He don't focus on nothing else. But when you think about Birdman, it's like, it wasn't like he ushered in like an era of financial literacy. It was like, he ushered in an era of spending extravagantly, buying cars without financing them, and getting tattoos on your face. Like, I don't think I would be proud of that.
Well, at least we know who to blame.
Oh yeah, and he let it know, like, I'm the one who started this shit. I'm like, oh, the main culprit right there.
So you're saying that he's a proponent of ignorant spending?
Yeah.
Very.
That's what the videos are. But who won? Who won? Who would you say?
Hold on. Okay, before we go any further, okay, for the uninitiated, now let's remember this. Okay, we want our podcast to be for everybody. We don't want anybody to look at our podcast and not understand what's going on, because that's one of the reasons why people tune out is they just, And I see it all the time. Podcasters talking about something and they're assuming that everybody knows, right? So let's get past that. Explain to us what this is about.
So versus is pretty much like a hip hop platform where artists get to pretty much go in competition with each other on their songs, right?
Okay.
And it's always like coinciding artists. A lot of times they get artists that used to have beefs with each other, and you know what I'm saying, they get on the
And
versus stage.
where do we find verses?
Right now it's on Apple Music, but if you just type it on YouTube, people rip it off of
Is
Apple
it video
Music
or is
and
it
whatnot.
audio?
Both. This is a live performance that they take.
Okay. So is it can you consume it as audio only and understand what's going on, or do you need the video?
You could, because I did listen to it in the car and and enjoyed it, but you know, the video component, you kind of need the video component. And
So
this year it was that
the
complex.
video part really enhances it then. You should watch
It
it.
enhances it. Yeah, it definitely enhances it, but you can listen to it. Like I said, I was listening to it in the car and I was enjoying it.
Okay.
It was actually at Complex Con in Vegas, which was a nice little place for it to happen. Versus was started by the producers Swiss Beats and Timberland, and they were just bringing in artists where we want to see them compete. You know what I'm saying? It's no real winner. It's really up to the public to decide who really the winner is. So,
Okay.
like, we've had a lot of verses, but this versus was against the No Limit Soldiers, led by Master P, and the Cash Money Millionaires, led by Birdman.
And so
And
I'm getting that there's no judges.
no judges,
There's no judges. There's no declared winner.
no declared winner. It's just somebody plays one song, then you come back and you play your song, and it's just a crowd going crazy.
Essentially like a dance battle or a rap battle or something.
This is literally a rap battle,
Okay.
but you're just battling with your songs and getting the energy from the people.
Okay.
I mean, of course, everybody's going back and forth. People are actually, like, the public is saying No Limit won. I can't really give anybody a win in this situation because, like, well, one thing that happened, right, that you kind of realize is, like, so Master P had a very large run in the late 90s and early 2000s, right? It ended in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Cash Money started in the late 90s and it's still going. Because, like I was just saying, Birdman continues to stay in music. He did not branch off. He just stuck with music. So his body of work is actually way larger than Master P's. But because with verses and there's only so much time that they give you, like, they compacted it and they didn't really like if Birdman decided to play Drake songs, it would have been over. You know what I'm saying? If he decided to play like anything new, it would have been over. But he got his old little crew. He had BG and Juvenile, and then Master P had his whole little crew. They performed the hits, make him say and get your roll on, and you know what I'm saying, still
So
fly.
why do you say if he had played Drake it would be over?
Because Drake has like way bigger songs. Like, when Drake came into the Cash Money label, that's when Cash Money became like mainstream.
Okay.
This versus was pretty much like late 90s, early 2000s era type
Okay, so
music.
they're sticking to an older era of music.
They just stuck to the older era. He used just the older artists.
So he didn't put out his new guys who would have just.
He didn't pull
shut
out
it down.
if he would have put out the new guys, Master P wouldn't have had a chance. Because, like I said, Master P was irrelevant after 2005.
Okay.
But Master P got up there, and like one of the things I kind of realized was like if Cash Money is like mainstream, No Limit was for the hood ghetto people, because it was just like a lot of hood ghetto anthems. They played this song called Free Codes, where Freak host. Freak host. Bounce that ass, your knees touch your elbows. Like, that's what we was listening to yesterday.
Okay.
and the crowd was going crazy.
Okay.
You know,
Now,
I even stopped for a moment, had to turn it up, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I can't
so
believe
how
they
big was
played
this
that.
crowd of people?
Had to be like a good 10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a big crowd. It was in Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah, this wasn't like this was a nice little concert. It was cool watching that.
So really,
It was
it
one of the
is. I
better
mean,
verses.
so really, it's not a competition so much as it is a concert, right?
It's like a competition concert, kind of. Yeah.
Funny thing though is, can you really call it competition when there's no clearly delineated way of winning?
I'm telling you, people be debating on who won.
But that's the
Yeah,
thing.
but sometimes the artists kind of go hard on each other. They don't.
They do.
I understand, but can you really call something competition? I mean, because honestly, if there's no score, right? So okay, so let's say for example, yes, you can have a situation like that where one person completely wipes the floor of the other. Let's say
Right.
for example, one side can't even get their technical stuff down. Their mics keep going out. Right? A bunch of technical issues on top of a bad performance, right? It's
Yeah.
obvious. Let's say that in this situation, it's obvious to anybody who was there
Yeah.
that there was a winner, right? But of
Yeah.
course, there is no declared winner because there's no judges.
There's
There's no official judging, right? The audience judges, but that's not official. There's no scoreboard up there, okay? See, so what happens in that, and this is what you got to understand, it happens in politics too, right? There is no when presidential and presidential candidates debate, there is no winner.
There's no winner, yes.
Okay? And now obviously there are times when one person just kicked the other one's ass, right?
Yes.
Okay. But even in that situation, because of social media, they can spin it any way they want.
Oh yeah. Like people say that Joe Biden won
Yeah. And
the
Biden's
debate with Trump.
thing is, Biden's people can spin it how they want. Like, if they can focus on one part of the situation where he may have had a point, right? They can do whatever they want. They can flat out lie. They can go out there, and it's not lying to say that our guy did great, right? They might think he did great, right? They can put out their own narrative, right?
Yeah.
So in a situation where there's no concrete way of judging, right? I mean, the only real winner is the audience because they get entertained.
I was thoroughly entertained. That's why I thought
that's
it was
the
pretty
winner.
good.
The audience is the winner, okay? Because honestly, and here's something funny. So I've been okay. I was writing a commentary on political policy today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I was faced with a few different viewpoints that I either had to support or oppose, right? And the thing is that I was looking up information to support opposing and supporting viewpoints on these things, and I was going to go with the one that I felt was stronger based on the info, right? Whether or not I supported or opposed the policy. I just wanted an easier time defending it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanted an easier time defending my stance. And even if I agreed with it or not, if it was easier to defend anti, because there's more out there supporting it, right? And what was crazy is that I saw articles used in citing support. The articles I used to support something were actually against it. But there were passages in the articles that called certain things into question, right? So you have a 10-page peer-reviewed journal article supporting something, and I was able to use it to argue against that something, right? And what was crazy is that the people, when you're talking about it, they don't read the whole article. All they see is the writers, and if they are really big names, trusted names, it gives heavy weight to my argument.
Wow.
They may have had one sentence in a 10-page article that supported my angle, and I quoted it. I used it and used the article as my supporting article when most of that article was against my point. Right? But I found the one passage that sounds good for me and I used it.
Yeah.
Right? You can do that. I mean, like I actually the route that I chose to go, I had to use counter articles for most of it, but it just sounded better. So when I debate somebody, I'm going to crush them. They're going to have no idea where I'm coming from, right? But that's the thing. So that's why it helps to have winners, and because like if there's a scoreboard, it's easy to say who won, easy to say who lost. Especially if the prize is more than bragging rights. See, bragging rights is one thing. See, so that's I'm assuming that's the prize here is bragging rights.
It's bragging rights, but so what I see versus being is it's more of a mechanism to kind of roll out your tour, or really to kind of catapult. It's more of a marketing.
It's a jumping off point for additional marketing.
Like right now, like I think No Limit. I want to say they had like a reunion tour, but after this versus, he can go on tour right now with the whole thing. They could click up and do a No Limit Cash Money tour, which I don't think they would do because it's weird. Like, I mean, even though like now, because one of the big things about this is, remember, these guys was in their prime in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
We're in 2025. So now, like looking at like the gimmick, it's just all like everybody just looked a little bit too old up there doing it, especially Master P.
Yeah,
Master P. Like I didn't realize the gimmick. Like, of course, he's called the No Limit Soldiers. There's always the No Limit Soldiers, right? They wore camouflage, they had chains with gold tanks on it. He'll have a gold tank in the music videos. They're always the No Limit Soldiers. So his thing was he would like run in place. And I didn't realize that was like a soldier thing. So just imagine this old guy getting up there running in place while he's rapping. He was doing that the whole night.
Okay. So now remember, these guys are so honestly, this thing could be used. I mean, both sides could launch something off it, whether they win or lose.
No, a lot of people do. Matter. That's what they do versus for.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, that's probably all they do it for. It's just like, remember, so this is the thing people have to realize. Everything that you can consume is marketing in some way, shape, or form.
True.
Right?
I agree.
And some people don't realize it, right?
Yeah.
But those are the people who miss opportunities. Right? People who mistake an opportunity for something else.
Yeah.
Like when we discuss this, like for example, there's a festival that Shelguan named. There's a festival that Raymond and I have worked with in the past. And the attendance, so not the people going to it, but the people the locators, the actual people with booths, right? This thing draws in, it's hundreds of thousands, right? Of people passing through in a one-day festival, right?
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of people passing in front of you in this day, right? Why are you there? Why did you pay the fee to be there, right? Did you pay the fee to try to sell hot dogs?
Yourself.
Did you pay the fee no, you're going to market. I mean, like, because you can sell from your booth and sell out of whatever it is you have. You're limited, okay? Let's say you only have 50,000. Oh, let's say even fewer. I mean, like, how many meals, Raymond, you're in the restaurant biz.
Yeah.
How many meals can you serve in that day, you think? Realistically speaking, I mean, like, what's the max product you can have and how many meals can you serve?
If I had to, like, if I was doing tacos, let's say if I was just selling baked potatoes.
Okay.
I would be able to sell, say if I did 10, I probably have to do like 20, 25 an hour. It's about like 10 hours. So like 250 potatoes.
But I mean, of course, you're limited by how many you can have on site, right?
I'm limited on how many I can have on site. I would come into that scenario like on a normal day when I do potatoes, because I do potatoes. Like on a normal day where I do potatoes, I'll at least come with 20.
20 potatoes?
I would come with at least 100.
Okay. 100.
I'll come with 100, and then I will have sliders just in case I ran out.
Okay, so how many potatoes could you sell that day? And Raymond's talking about like a loaded baked potato. He's talking about
I'm
like
talking about a loaded baked potato.
how many can you sell in that day? I mean, like if
I
you
like that's why I said I could sell 250.
okay, so
But
if
I will have to invest in the maximum amount.
oh, I mean,
Like I'll have to invest in like
let's
space
say
for like
money
heating
was
and
no
everything.
object. Money is no object. You can bring in what you can bring in.
Oh yeah, if it was money was no object,
well,
I'm selling.
obviously, okay. So the whole point is this: if you could sell 500 units that day,
Yeah,
right? You would. If you could reasonably be guaranteed to sell 500 units, and you are able to have 500 units available, you should find a way to finance 500 units,
yes,
right? Okay, but therein is the risk, right? You have to you strongly feel you can move 500 units, right?
right,
And you get the infrastructure necessary because selling the 500 units is going to pay for the cost of having the 500 units and
right.
make you profit. It should, right? Okay, let's go t-shirts. Raymond, on a day like that, how many t-shirts would you stock?
Okay, on a day like that, because I've sold it at there. I've sold at the Taste of Soul t-shirts. Um, man, I will at least like stock wise, I would at least have like 300 to 400 pieces.
Okay,
And
and
all variety of sizes, all variety of
how
like
many
shirts, hoodies, crew necks,
how many you
hats.
think you'd move them all 300 total pieces of everything?
Yeah, I think I'll have at least 300
Okay,
minimum.
so there's that question. So let's say, could you move 300 baked potatoes?
I can definitely move 300 baked potatoes. Yes,
Can you move 500? You think?
I will have to lower the price to move five.
So let's go up. Let's say 400. Okay, so let's say you can move 400 baked potatoes, right? Here's the funny thing: you can move a guy selling food can move 400 units of baked potatoes, maybe 400
Yeah,
sandwiches. Okay, maybe you'd sell 300 pieces of 300 individual garments, right?
yeah,
How many people are there in the day?
500,000.
Close to 500,000, right? And you're talking about selling 400 units of something,
Yeah,
right? They're missing they've missed the train. I mean, like, they don't understand what the day is for. The day is for trying to collect data on as
right.
many of that 500,000 people as they can.
Yes,
Like, selling product on site is really about paying for being there. If you can pay for the booth through sales and collect 1,000 units of data, you've gotten a free 1,000 person database. 1,000 people is only 1,000 out of the other 499 of those 1,000 that are out there, right? Your
right.
goal is to find a way to capture as many of the 500,000 as you can, right? If you capture 4,000, that's awesome. You capture 4,000 and pay for your day there. You've got a mailing list of 4,000 people did. What depends on how you want to hit them. Mailing list, text list, right? However you want to connect, get them to download your app. So if you're out there trying to get, if you have a prize wheel and you're giving away, that's the thing. Some of those locators there are paying to be there, not selling anything, and they're just there for marketing only. Like, think about it. Like, there's like the governmental attendees. They just want to disseminate information. They're
Right.
paying there to do that. Other places like schools are there recruiting.
Recruiting.
Okay, they're not selling anything at all. They're paying to be able to access a community of people. Will
Right.
people attending their school make the money? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's the bigger entities know what's going on.
Yeah.
They
Like as a
understand.
school, just getting 10 people from that 500,000 people will pay for the booth
Yes.
and the staff.
So there you go. And so really, they should be there with a bunch of trinkets to give away in order to try to get people to give them their contact info. You should have a prize wheel that you spin that you can give away coupons for a free coffee at a local place somewhere else, right?
Yep.
A T-shirt or a pencil with your branding on it, something like that. A bunch keychains, cheap giveaways, like
Right.
with one bigger prize, a free meal at something else. So you organize your marketing in advance. So you're gonna say, hey man, I'm trying to collect data at the next thing coming up. could I get a free refill on a cup of coffee with the purchase of a coffee from you hit your local restaurants, try to get giveaways, right? They're
Mm.
not going to give you. I mean, they're not going to really give away anything. It's a free coffee with the purchase of a meal, right? Something like
Yeah.
that. Find something to give away because people will spin that wheel to win something. Doesn't have to be good,
But
right?
they'll spin it
They'll
just
spin it.
because.
Make it nice and attractive. Make it colorful. Make it have a nice clackety clack sound,
Yeah. I mean,
right?
but also like, we also saw that just giving out things
Yeah.
is going to get your numbers. Like I think what we gave out books, we gave out the resource guide.
Yep. Research
Well, we
guys.
did we didn't do that. We didn't do that the festival we're talking about, but
Yeah.
we did that at a festival,
Yep.
and that went over pretty good. I mean, like I look at myself as a person. I'm kind of nice in the booth when it comes to
Hmm.
anything. If I'm selling food, or especially when I'm giving out something free, I'm getting everything off.
But
You
I'm
know,
telling you, I mean, if you have a food booth, if you're a local business especially, and you have a food booth at one of these things, and I mean, you stock it with people there to serve food, but you also have a street team that you have there
Mhm.
wandering the festival collecting data.
Yeah,
That's what it's really for. I mean, like, that's the whole purpose. And in festival like these, there's it costs money to have a booth, right?
hmm
But you can have a team of people wandering the streets in your regalia, in your t-shirts, in your whatever, handing out. I mean, like, finding ways to collect data for. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to collect data. All sorts of give, you know,
sure. I'll give like if I was to do it, thinking about what you're saying right now, I will have a street team and I'll give them sliders, and it will have a sign on it say free sliders. And in order to get the free slider, you got to give us your name,
yeah,
phone number.
yeah,
Like, and that will probably, man, that's 100 sliders right there.
or
And adding 100 people to your mailing list is
yep,
always like
it's a
gold.
lot. I mean, and then you can also, if you want to do giveaways, you can always have a download giveaway. So you have something. So you enter them for a chance. I mean, like, invest in like I don't know. Back then it was iPads, right?
Yeah,
Invest in an iPad. All they got to do to win this thing is to subscribe to your mailing list. Doesn't cost them
right,
any money. Just got to subscribe to your mailing list. One entry per person, right? And you're there with at the booth with a computer, and you're watching them when they enter it in, right? Full like email, name, and phone number. Boom, you put that
mm,
in, they're entered, right?
right,
And you just give them something nice to win. And that there's a lot of ways to make marketing work for you in a day like that. But if your
right.
whole goal is to walk in and sell 500 units of something and that's it, you're missing on the bigger opportunity. The big opportunity
Yeah.
is all those names, all those contacts. I mean, a person a person with a small business, I mean, like let's say that you're like a tax prep business should be out there.
Oh my God, man, I never thought about it like that, Armand. When we was doing the tax, we should revisit that and just
We
start
should
sending
actually
stuff.
revisit that because it's perfect timing, dude. The time of year it is, people are
Yeah,
thinking taxes already, and you get out there and talk about tax savings.
yeah,
We should really look at that. And of course, you market to your audience the way that they need to be marketed to. And this is one thing that
mhm,
I've discovered. Okay, so one thing that I've discovered is even in this, I mean, like even this podcast situation, right? I think that I'm at a disadvantage in these situations just because I try to be, you know, I try to come off as more intelligent, right? And it's not like pretending to be intelligent or because I'm super intelligent. It's just that I always look at these outrageous people. Like, the guy, what is that product where the guy's wearing the jacket with the dollar signs on it?
Let's go.
Was that, those guys, like, they're the guys are outrageous. These crazy ass, they're basically mascots for their brands,
mhm.
right? Or Crazy Eddie, you remember him? We talked
Yeah.
about him before. Crazy
Crazy
Eddie, his
Eddie.
prices are insane. All these crazy ass, I mean, like, gimmicks, right? I don't want to have a gimmick, right? That's because I always thought that people should listen to me because what I'm saying makes sense. I mean, what's nuts is this, right? I've saved people like thousands of dollars in taxes a year that they would have had to pay out, right? Some people 30 grand, right? Other people potentially more. It's a lot of money that by following our methodologies, you can legitimately reduce your tax burden, right? But when I talk about it intelligently, it's not exciting, I guess, in a way.
But you gotta just hit them with the headline.
Hit the headline.
I save
But
you
more
money.
than that, I see people out there marketing the same thing as we're doing, except they're doing it basically posing in front of the stupid stuff that they bought with their tax savings. Right?
Hey, but that's what you're supposed to do, though.
A guy
That's what
posing
you're
in front of his
supposed to
Lambo,
do.
right? A guy posing in front of his Lambo. They like guys sitting there with actual stacks of money, right? Like, check it out. Like, I saved, like, it's.
I
guess
save money. You need to too.
Yeah, it's kind
You
of
should
funny
talk
though.
just like that.
You look at it, it's so irresponsible looking, right? But I understand that, to a certain demographic, that plays well.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, look at the guys that I work with directly who I save the biggest amounts for. It's like basically it's like a former professional athletes and high-end educators. Like they're overly intelligent people to begin with, right? I don't really get anybody else. I don't get your common middle of the road. I don't get the short attention span crowd, right? Which is most people, right? In America today, we talked about are people getting dumber? Well, I don't know if they're getting dumber, but they're definitely, you reach them differently. Their attention spans are shorter. They need to have shiny things dangled in front of them.
Yep.
Right. And here's what's crazy. This is what I'm discovering. This is why scams work on them. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of times they are so attracted to something that's being thrown at them that speaks to them that they just, boom, they're all over it. And they're falling for it. I mean, I was so I was picking up medication for my father at a CVS. Okay. And I'm in line and there's an older lady in front of me. It's a pretty big line. And there's an older lady in front of me. She's probably in her late 60s. When I say older, she's not old, but she's older than me, right? I would put her early 60s, okay? And she's there, she's in line, and you can see it, right? Marketing is designed to prey on the weakest among us. You got to realize that. So if you're out there watching this, and sorry to tell you this, if marketing really works on you, you got to strengthen your mind because it's really designed to get the weakest among us, right? Those point of purchase displays. So let's say you're walking through like this lady in the CVS line. Okay. She's in line for her prescription pickup, right? They put it right, that line, if it's long enough, goes right by the vitamins, all those crazy vitamins that you don't know if you need them or not. And she's sitting there looking at the shelf and suddenly she's got like 10 different vitamin bottles cradled in her arms. Vitamins that she probably would never have bought if she wasn't stuck in the line looking at them. And they all are attractive. They're like gummies and all. And then her phone rings. Right, her phone rings. She picks it up. She's got an armful of stuff. Phone rings. And I can hear it, right? She's on speaker. Okay? And it's a telemarketer. Okay? And it's asking her something about her Medicare or Medicaid, right? And she's answering the questions.
No.
Okay? Remember, all this telemarketing now is designed, they hit you with, it's just like getting mail that that says you owe taxes. I mean, like, that you're, or, if you look at these letters really carefully, it says this is not governmental mail in the bottom. It has to tell you this, not from the government.
Man, you know what?
Letters, right? But people
because
believe,
we were just talking about this. I got hit with one of the most sophisticated scams, and I almost got it. But some told me to just to avoid a scam, you have to take the extra step and just do research.
Okay.
Like I got hit with one where I had just literally called. I've been dealing with the
Well, hold on real quick. Is it a scam or is it just marketing?
It was scam.
Okay. Because there's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay. So a scam is somebody pushing something that they're trying to rob you with. It's illegal, right?
Yeah, he was trying to. Yeah, they was trying to
Now,
give me something legal.
The difference here is that this lady was being suckered in by somebody selling something and asking her a bunch of questions in order to they're trying to get her to move her Medicare from one thing to another, basically. What
Oh
it is,
yeah, that's sales.
right? That's a finesse, right? All
Yeah.
these things coming, telling you that, like attempts to refinance your mortgages. So the calls are coming, and this is from the closing department, looking for Raymond McDaniel. We called you last week about your loan. You were at the final stages. Oh, I don't have a loan. That's marketing, right?
You're right.
But a scam is somebody telling you that, like, that the Prince of Nigeria has selected you to receive $50,000, but we need to confirm your bank account first.
Yeah.
That's
You only get like, and the funny thing about it, they scam broke people who are like, kind of desperate for the money. Because that's when I was successful. Like, that's when, like, you could scam me back in the day. But now that I've trained my mind and now I get it, like the last scam because most people, I don't even pay them attention. I don't even care anymore. But this last scam was kind of sophisticated where I actually have to call and like the people was, oh no, it's a scam. Like, who I've been dealing with? The like the board of equalization. I'm doing my state taxes because they I owe them money, right?
okay.
So I did something where they was like, oh yeah, you're probably gonna get a refund back, right? So I got sent an email saying that your refund has been processed. We need your just give us your information to confirm. So I look at it and like I think I just like put my name and then it was like, oh, you'll get $1,900 back. And they was like, oh, we need your social security card and we need something else. And that's when I stopped. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me go and see what's going on. And
Yeah.
I called and it was, oh yeah, there's no such thing. And it was like, of course, like it was like $1,900. But I was like, I really would like $1,900 right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, no, it's a scam.
Yep. All a scam. Remember, the governmental agencies reach out by snail mail.
They do.
That's how
they
do it.
definitely do.
Snail mail. That's how they do it. They do not. They will never ask you to confirm your information. That's phishing.
And
That's
yeah, they
all
don't do
that
nothing
is.
on the phone, nothing through the internet.
Yeah, it's all phishing. That's what that is. And remember, scams mostly prey on people's greed.
Yes.
Right. That's what happens. They prey on your greed. Like, oh, I want $1,900.
Right.
And like, like you're thinking to yourself, oh man, I'm getting money back. I should have paid. Ha ha. I'm getting one over. No, you're getting scammed.
Right. And it sucks.
Now those are scams, and then there's the other area where it's just marketing, right? I know a lot of people who claim and like, oh man, all these scams. They're not scams. That's just marketing. They're just trying to get you to buy something or getting you to transfer your money from here to somewhere else, right? Because there are some businesses that are out there that most people don't understand how they make their money, right? Some businesses make money. So let's say, Raymond, that you were working at one manufacturing plant, okay, put in 10 years there, and then you change jobs to another. You've got a qualified plan at the original place. You open up a new qualified plan at the new place. Okay? You can transfer money from your previous qualified plan into your new one, but you have to initiate that transfer. It's called a rollover. Okay, so you have to roll your money over from one qualified plan to another. Okay? If you don't do anything, it'll just sit there. There's no penalty for that. Okay? But if you want to be able to directly control it still, you want to roll it over, right? They make money rolling over money. Okay, people don't get that. When you do rollovers, they make money. Transfer funds from one account to another, they make money.
Yeah.
Okay? Refinancing properties. When you have a mortgage loan outstanding on your property and better rates come up and you refinance for lower payment, they make money when you refinance the property. You refinance it because you want to pull equity out. They make money when you do that too. They make money up front and they make money in the long run. Okay, some of these places forgo making money up front. So how can they profit when they're not going to charge you any fees at all? And some of them do that. Refinance a property, no cost, no money out of no. They'll trick you in some ways. Sometimes they'll say no money out of pocket. That means they're folding the fees into the new loan amount. Other times it'll be no fees at all, and that's true. They don't charge you any fees at all. So, But what ends up happening is that they're making their money from the new loan over the course of 30 years,
Wow.
right? Because there is the interest, okay?
Yeah.
And so in certain things, you have to ask yourself, do I really need to refi this? Let's say that you have a property that you've been paying on it for 25 years. It's a 30-year loan, 5 years left, right? If you refinance that thing now, okay, so let's say you owe 10,000, well, I can't. Let's say you owe 50,000, no, 100,000 for the next 5 years. That's your balance. You have
Okay.
50,000, 100,000 in principal left, okay? Over the next, and it'll be gone in the course of the next 5 years or less. Let's say 50, it'll be gone. If you factor out the payments, it's way more than 50 for the next 5 years, right? If you refi that into a new 30-year loan, your payment's going to drop to a quarter of what it is. So you're going to have a crazy, crazy low payment, okay? But it's 30 more years. Okay, so in the end, you're paying 3 or 4 times what you're borrowing now. Okay, now with most loans, you know they're fully amortized, so the payments at the end of the loan's life, the last quarter of it, is almost all principal. So you're better off not refinancing that because it's almost all principal.
Right.
Okay, let it ride, or refi it into a 15 if you have to, but don't refi into a 30, or refi it into a 30 to lower the payment for cash flow purposes, and then make the complete payment you used to make. So you'll still pay it off in 10.
Right.
Right? So all those payments you're making are paying directly to principal, knocking that sucker down.
Right.
Maybe you refinance it just to have flexibility of your payments for cash flow purposes, because that sometimes makes sense. So let's say you have a $5,000 mortgage payment, right? And you can refinance it, but that $5,000 payment means it'll be gone in 10 years. You can refinance it to a new 30-year and have that payment drop down to $1,005. Okay, that's 3,000 something extra every month that you don't have to pay. But let's say you can afford to pay it, so every month you still pay it, so you can pay it off in 10 instead, right? But that gives you the flexibility in case an opportunity comes up where you need that cash flow instead.
Yeah.
Sometimes that makes sense. There's a lot of reasons why you want to do this. But, and I'm guilty of this too. When I was a much younger man, I convinced people to refi their homes simply because of the payment drop. So if you're paying $5,000 a month and I tell you I can make it $1,500, right? I can sell you entirely on that.
Wow.
Right? Think about it. $5,000 a month is what you're paying now. You can pay, if you refinance now at this lower interest rate, we can take that payment and make it $1,500.
Yeah, I'm coming to talk to you.
Yeah. And of course, there's the caveat. It's going to be 30 years again. You're adding on the 20 years of the loan, and when you look at it, you're borrowing more money. Right?
I would do
but
that.
I could move that on you, saying, and there's a lot of, it's legitimate. You can do this, and you can still pay the full $5,000 you're always paying, and it won't affect you. So, but it gives you that flexibility. If there's a month where you want to pay less or you need to pay less, you can, and it won't hurt your credit. That's all that I can move you on that. But in my earlier days, I wasn't doing that. I was just entirely saying, man, what can you do with the extra money that you're saving? What can you do with the $3,500? You can buy a car. I can't tell you how many people who I've refied and convinced them to buy shit.
Really?
Because it's attractive. I'm talking to people in their 30s. Man, you've been eyeing that BMW. Now remember, this is 1991-ish, right? 1991, only people who drove BMWs and Mercedes were doctors and lawyers. Nurses didn't drive those kind of cars back then. A nurse might get one to like splurge on themselves. Okay. And that's what I would talk them into. Right. I had a lot of people in healthcare I was working with. And hey man, treat yourself, get a BMW, get a Mercedes. Back then they were 190Es, but still. Like splurge. We can drop your payment down dramatically and you can go on a trip, we're selling lifestyle, right? Obviously today I'd be selling it a whole different way, but I could still sell it.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, that they're not all scams. these marketing is not a scam. You have to realize that. So every time you get a telemarketing call, they're not scammers. They're not people trying to steal money from you. They're trying to get you to buy. Some people think they're stealing money from them because they're trying to get them to buy stuff, right? But are you getting something for the money you're paying? As long as the answer is yes, then it's not a scam. If you're wiring money overseas and all you're getting is a big smile, yeah, you're being scammed. Right? Okay, but the marketing's not a scam. That's your own fault for being susceptible to it.
Excuse me.
It's your goal as an intelligent human being to be able to detect marketing.
Right.
Right. You have to be able to answer that call. And dude, when my phone rings, do your phones do this? Does it say scam likely?
Yes.
Yep.
Right? Okay, scam likely does, and I blame that for why people think that it's all a scam, because the phone's saying there's likely a scam. It's not a scam. It's just marketing. It's like it's somebody calling you to get you to refinance your house. It's somebody, like I had a call just before this Zoom started. It said scam likely, and they were and it's somebody saying, "Hey, Mr. Santos, we're doing work over here on Whittier Boulevard. We want to know if there's anything that you need done on your house." It's a marketing
Oh,
call
I get those people.
from a contractor company. Company.
Or it's people selling solar. That comes
Or
up.
they're selling solar.
Likely
They're
too.
selling something real, right?
Yeah.
That's not scam. That's marketing. Right?
Yeah, I think the college loan people pop up under scam likely for me right now.
They do too. Anybody pops up under. And actually, the reason it pops up is because they're using phone banks. They're using those lines where you call up and it changes the number every time you call.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's why they're coming up as scam likely. Okay, that's why it happens. Okay, but they're not. Most of them are not scams. Most of them are marketing. I mean, the guys selling solar, the guys are trying to sell you electric, what's it called, home warranties, or they're selling you what's it called, it's legitimate. You can actually buy certain things for your house that you can get tax rebates on, like energy efficiency. If you put in triple glazed windows, you can get a rebate of a size large enough to cover the cost of triple glazed windows, possibly, right? That's not a scam. That's all marketing, right? Just like, okay, so I personally, the solar guys to me are bordering on scams.
Or what?
To me, the solar guys border on scams.
They are borderline scams.
And the reason why is because the way they present themselves. Okay, they really are selling a product, but they all roll in there as if they are GE, not GE. Who the hell's the power company?
Oh, Southern California Edison.
Yeah, Edison. They all walk in and they've got Edison logos on all their. They're not Edison, They're just a company that's on an Edison list. They all try to make it look like, oh, have you been contacted by Edison yet about us? No, Edison's not ever marketing you directly. You're on a list of 17,000 vendors that Edison has on. So these guys they come off as scam artists. They try to make it look like they're with Edison. Right? So you have to ask them, are you actually with Edison? Do you work for Edison? And they'll try to dance around that. Okay. I tip guys knocking on, and that's my thing. On one hand, you get people who are just open to being influenced, right? On the other extreme side, I think I fall a bit too extreme, is you get somebody who just won't give anybody the time of day. Right? So here's the funny thing about me, and you guys notice this. For the most part, when you guys call me, I answer.
True.
Right? If I can answer, I'll answer the phone. Okay? Which is a trait that you don't get very often. Most people today will actually let it go to voicemail every time. Right?
Yeah, even if they're not doing nothing.
Yeah. They'll bring it up. And sometimes don't even look. Right? They'll just look at the voicemail, right? I answer whenever I can. I even answer all the scam calls. It's my policy. I answer all phone calls.
Yeah.
And if it's a call where it's an automated call, I'll just hang up. If it turns out to be some form of a marketing call, I won't even say I'm not interested. I'll just hang up on it.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
My dad is like that.
Yeah, I'll answer the phone. hello. I'll be like, click. That's it. It was a marketing call.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's what I always do. I don't give them time of day. Same thing when they answer my door. If the doorbell rings, open the door. Hey there, sorry, I'm on a Zoom. I'm too busy to talk to you. Leave literature if you want to. Boom, I'm off. And I treat them all the same, whether it's a solar guy or it's a contractor or it's doesn't sound terrible, or if it's a Mormon guy root cruising around, or one of the Spanish church ladies. It's all the same. I'm on a Zoom call. I really can't talk to you right now. Leave literature if you want. I just don't have time for it. Right? There are other people. So I'm one extreme end of the spectrum. Basically, to me, everything is a time burner, and I'm not letting anybody into my space. Right? Then you have other people who will talk to anybody, and they're the ones who get scammed. They're the ones,
Yeah.
who, like, older, and that's the thing. Older Americans are lonely. That's why they'll take a call
They want,
and they'll
they want
wire,
somebody to talk to.
Yeah, they'll wire money to somebody. But they aren't. But Raymond's right. They're getting more sophisticated. People are using phone calls that sound like they're coming from grandchildren to get money from people, and that's real. They'll actually target you for a scam like that. They'll fake a call from a grandkid to get some money, and with AI technology now, they can even do like FaceTime calls. So you gotta be careful out there, right? Everyone's after your money.
Everybody.
Sometimes it almost feels like it pays not to have money. Right? And this is funny. Before there was the internet, before it was like this, I used to really take great pleasure in getting scam artists to get on the phone with me, trying to get information, trying to get money so I could waste their time. So I got somebody on the phone for 2 hours, wasting their time entirely. Right? But of course, whose time are you really wasting?
Your own.
Your own time.
Yeah.
Right? Why are you on that phone call for 2 hours trying to waste a scammer's time? Right? Didn't you have anything better to do with your 2 hours?
Absolutely not.
Ramey's even got a couple dates that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm notorious for that one.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, you sound good. What's your name? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Oh, definitely.
there's businesses out there. You have to just realize that they're not scams, but they're not necessary oftentimes. Okay, some businesses are, like some people. There are scams. So of course, Raymond, what are you? Are you millennial? What are you?
I guess so.
You're a millennial, right?
I don't know what year.
Okay, so I'm Gen
from.
X. Gen X is supposedly between 65 and 79 or 80.
I think I was Generation Z.
Wait, what year are you born?
87.
87. You're the one after us. You're a millennial.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh,
millennials.
Gen X and Gen. Then it's just millennial.
I think millennials used to be called Gen Ys, is what they used to call them.
Oh, and this is
And
Gen
then,
Z.
and then they gave them millennials as the new thing. Then
So wait, hold on. We're really dealing with Gen Z right now.
What's that?
The end. That's where we're at.
No, they'll make other ones afterwards.
What's gonna be the other ones?
Generation Alpha is after that.
Yeah,
Generation Alpha.
I think they're already on a new one.
That's about Generation Alpha.
Is that what they're calling it? Yeah.
Oh, I ain't calling these.
Because remember, the first letter generation was X. There was no W. Remember, so before us, the generation before X was baby boomers.
So we just did X, Y, and Z.
I don't even know why they gave them X. Don't ask me why they gave these names. So they gave us X. The next one came out as Y for a bit, but then they changed it to millennial.
Yeah, Generation Y is kind of
And
random.
Gen Z
Generation Y.
I guess Gen Z sounds cool. So they gave Gen Z their thing.
Yeah, and now it's gonna be Gen Alpha.
I guess, yeah.
And then after that, there's a Generation Beta.
Are they out already?
Wait, yeah, start 2025.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Alpha Generation Beta. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, that sounds very like passive.
Oh, that's one they're gonna have to change.
That's the pass. Like beta's like that. That sounds like a very like your girlfriend's going out with somebody else kind of a thing.
Yeah,
you're a beta male, dude.
Man, we're gonna have beta people.
Beta people.
That's what it is. That's crazy,
So are they gonna refer to them as Generation Cuck instead?
man.
Generation Z is considered the Zoomers.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well,
I like being a
I
Zoomer.
mean, Zoomer is no wait. You're a millennial, dude.
I know. I'm just saying. I would like being a
Yeah, you
Zoomer.
like being a Zoomer.
I wouldn't like to be no beta
Yeah, no,
at
dude.
all.
You're not. Dude. Nobody wants to be a beta.
Nobody wants to be a
Nobody wants to be a
beta.
beta because the Generation Alpha basically is eating your lunch. That
Yeah,
is the
that's why I'm
case,
like we're gonna
right?
get beat. Take all our lunch money.
Dude, but no, the thing about
Put
Gen
our head in the
X,
toilet.
Gen X is the generation that basically, supposedly, the defining characteristic of that generation is its ability to just roll with the punches. It really, I mean, and you don't hear very much about them. You don't, I mean, Gen X doesn't make the news very much, except for like not caring. That's our, that's, I guess Generation X is a very, and that's why I bring it up. Gen X is very jaded. Basically, they've seen everything, nothing surprises them, and nothing really brings up an emotion in them. They really don't care. That's how we are depicted. Versus versus the millennials, right? Everybody else are so easy to trigger. I mean, you have to work hard to trigger a Gen X person.
Mm.
Okay, because we've seen stupid stuff.
Seen a lot of stupid stuff.
And Gen X people have seen. I mean, okay, so the representative of Gen X out there. This is crazy though. The guys from Jackass represent us.
Why?
They're our age. They are specifically Generation X people. Johnny Knoxville is a Generation X person, and that's like basically okay. So Johnny Knoxville represents my childhood in that the stuff that he did and made money off of is stuff that we just did for fun, right? We had shopping cart races. The funny thing is like we had shopping cart races. We blew stuff up. We injured ourselves. I mean, like when I was a kid, we actually had, they have paintball now. Our version was the same thing, except we were using BB guns. Right? One of my friends, I'm going to shout him out. Kirk Hartley, if you're out, wait, is it Kirk? No. Conrad Zamora, if you're out there, this is for you. Okay, so Conrad had a BB stuck under his scalp, and we would take a magnet, and it would his scalp would stretch up to stick to the magnet. I saw this, dude. And that was the result of a BB gun fight. One of us had hit him in the head with a BB gun, and it had pierced the skin, but didn't go through his skull, and it was this lodge there under his scalp. So, and he would show people, dunk, dunk. We'd be sticking that magnet in his head, and the BB would rise to the magnet. Okay, that's the kind of crap we did. So we actually had BB gun fights. So we're out there, and the whole goal, and this is what we would do, and like the cheap ones like Red Riders, one single lever pump, and you can shoot it, right? That's all you got. Other ones, you can pump it a few times. If you pump it too much, the chamber leaks, right? But we'd be sitting there like, and if you're pinned down and you're out of ammo, we'd be loudly pumping, clack, 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 clack. And they're hearing this thing is they're pumping 20 times. And so they know that the first person you hit is gonna be in a world of hurt. So they're all running away now, right? But you're out of ammo. That's the whole game. So we did that. We actually had those kind of fights. We had a construction site next. So when I first moved to California, we were renting an apartment before my parents found a house. There was a large construction site next to we lived in Diamond Bar. So they were building all these tract homes, and there were construction sites going on. Oh, Remy, you're nodding.
Oh, wow.
There we go. Pay attention. There we go. And so they had all those stakes in the ground with like they were color coded, right? And every day after school, every weekend we get out there when the construction workers aren't there, and we take those stakes and we sword fight with them. Right? And sword fighting wasn't, so you weren't trying to hit each other really. Thing is that you would keep whacking until one of your things broke. That's the winner, is the guys whose stake didn't break.
The stake didn't break.
So you're sitting there and like, so we all started buying, like some guys had had like, some guys that were taking like socks and wrapping around their hands. Because if you've ever swung a piece of wood like a stake and the vibration, it gets you, right? Some guys were wearing batting gloves, other guys have other gloves, and we're just whacking these sticks, and it's crazy, right? It's a wonder more of us didn't get crippled or die.
A lot. I think that happened with a lot of our. Like, I just think that's just a kid thing.
Yeah.
Like recently, my son busted his lip on the monkey bars, and I told my dad about it. Like, he gonna do that.
Yeah.
And I just started flashing back all the stuff where I should have probably died or been hospitalized. I'm like, dang, I hope my son don't have to go through the same type of stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, the older like Gen X especially, we did really, really, because we're the generation the parents didn't watch.
Man, we did dangerous stuff like ride down hills on dirt bikes with no brakes.
Yeah, well, most of the times unintentionally. But the thing was that the reason why we did so many stupid things is because we're the generation we're the one of the earlier generations with two parents working. So the Generation X originally, before they called us that, we were called the latchkey kids. We had keys. So other previous generations growing up, the kids came home to a house with a parent in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They didn't have keys to their houses. Okay? Because they shouldn't be out when there's a parent not super. So we were the first ones to come home, and kids actually had a key around their neck, so they wouldn't lose the damn things. That's the thing. So they were identified, so you knew which kid had parents who worked because they had keys. Right? The kids didn't, and so we were latchkey kids. So we're the first generation to grow up with most of us unsupervised for most of the day. Right? So we were unsupervised this whole time. Nowadays, parents are still working. Both of them are still working, but they don't trust their kids as much anymore. Or maybe it's because the world seems to have gotten worse.
I think the world's gotten worse because I think I was a part of the generation where, I mean, and it was me. I mean, I still had a lot of friends that was outside, and I was outside to a certain degree. But I remember my grandmother was not having it. No, you can't go up the street. Stay inside the house because she witnessed our neighborhood turn from a nice, wholesome, upcoming black community to, man, it's some BS now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it, but then also it's like, I think we're kind of like it is different, but kids still do dumb stuff.
Oh, they do. They
I mean,
absolutely
like
do.
that's why I'm like I like the whole going down the hill with no brakes on. There's somebody who's riding their bike.
There's always somebody doing it, but the majority of kids today are fearful. The majority,
I don't think so.
I think so. The kids today, and I've known it. I mean, the kids today are, what's the word that we probably shouldn't use? And we have to bleep this. Kids today are pussies. They really are. Okay.
I don't think because not the kids I run into.
Well, okay. So the kids that you run into are there. It's okay. It's a different demographic, right? So the great majority of America, right? There's going to be rough areas, right? There's going to be rough areas with streetwise kids, right? But you got to remember the majority of the American. Have you guys seen the Stephen King It movies?
Yeah.
Okay, that is set. Those people my age, they were 13 years old in 1989. They're younger than me. So in 89, I was 19, right? So that world you're looking at, that Derry, Maine, 1989. So by that time I was living in California already. I left the East Coast in 82 or 81, I think, right? But the experience you see on the TV or on the wherever you watch it, that's what growing up for me was like. I was growing up in a Stephen King movie, right? Because his movies were about kids set in the year that I was a kid. So exactly what you saw in the first It movie was my childhood.
Right.
I grew up in a town just like that. We had a river. We had it looked just like that. A trestle bridge going across the river. Old schools, my town was built prior to the Revolutionary War. Right? So there's houses. And Quentin and I have been on Zillow looking at houses there. You see houses for sale built in the 1800s.
Really?
Yeah. And that's where I grew up. I grew up bicycling with these. I mean, like, and that's where, so remember, the majority of America is semi-rural like that. The cities, the city experience that you've experienced is the minority of America. So when you talk about the generation of kids growing up, they're still growing up in more of a pastoral setting.
Oh, okay.
And so the kids nowadays are, I mean, because the parents don't let them have this thing. The parents are fearful. I mean, you've heard the term helicopter parents. Does that sound familiar? You should look it up. Helicopter parents is a term for modern parents who basically won't let their kids make mistakes. They hover over their kids. They're there to teach them everything. Okay? They teach them everything. They don't let their kids find stuff out for themselves. They protect they protect their kids from everything they can, but they're kind of stifling. They're called helicopter parents.
Oh, okay, I get it.
A really good friend of mine from my childhood is now working. I think she's with UC Santa Barbara, and she's a counselor. I think she's a counselor working with parents. And I haven't talked to her in years, but her complaint was even with college kids entering UCs have helicopter parents. They're highly involved in their kids' upbringing, but they're just there too much. They're just hovering, trying to keep their kids from experiencing pain.
Well, I mean, okay, is that bad? Because today, I mean, I had my helicopter experience, right? But I'm more of like, my son is going to experience stuff. I'm just here as a resource.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, he's going to have his issues. And like, I look at myself, because it's like, I had to figure out a lot of stuff on my own as a youngster. It wasn't a lot of guidance. Like, I want to prevent that. So, I mean, am I a helicopter parent for that?
Quentin, look up helicopter parenting.
Right.
You did. Read it to us.
A style of parenting characterized by excessive involvement and control in a child's life, driven by a desire to protect them from harm and failure.
Yeah. Now, the difference now, helicopter parents are extremely different than the parents of Gen X kids. Gen X kids, now here's the difference between this will give you the difference between parenting styles. Mm-hmm. Growing up, and Quentin, you and I are the same age, the TV shows, right? There was a TV commercial that came on when we were kids. And this was crazy. This was an actual campaign being run because they felt it had to be run. And the ad went, it's 10 o'clock. It's on TV. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? That was the actual ad that ran on TV. Because not only did our parents both work, but when they came home, they unwound and they let their kids run like animals in the street, right? True. We had very little supervision. It's like they came home and we weren't there and they didn't care. That was the parents for our generation. They basically, it's like as long as we were, basic success to them is the fact that we were alive. That was success. It's like, yay! And like, all 10 fingers, all 10 toes, yay! Right? And what's crazy, I say that because my next door neighbor, when I was in that apartment building, they were another immigrant family. They were Indian from India. This is crazy. We all wandered everywhere, right? And somehow they wandered down behind the Safeway, which was a supermarket back then. They wandered behind the Safeway, and somebody had thrown away a whole bunch of free weights, like plates. So they came back, and these weren't like plates that you can slide on bars. These were rectangular plates. You know how like sometimes they have those stacks of weights? Somebody had just dumped a bunch of rectangular plates behind the Safeway. And the two brothers, Indian brothers, had come back with all these weights inside a shopping cart. They were pushing a shopping cart full of weights, and they got it up into the Daisy Apartments, up these hills, and they were right there in front of the doors. There's a little bit of a slope, and something happened, and the cart started to fall over. Okay, and what's his name again? Sumit. What did Sumit do? He tried to catch it, and then he realized right at the last second, this thing has several 100 pounds of plates in it. He pulls his hands away, and his middle finger gets caught by the shopping cart against the pavement, and it snips off the tip of his finger. I was there. I remember the paramedics coming, and Mrs. Verma, his mother, had the tip of his finger in a teacup on ice. Well, I'm laughing about it now, okay? But in the moment, it was the freakiest thing ever because he tried to catch a shopping cart with a bunch of weights inside it. Okay? Yeah. Parents of our generation, I don't fault them at all for it. They were doing their thing, right? They did what they could with the time they had, but they're not winning any parenting awards.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's not father or mother of the year right
Nope.
now.
And and a lot of it was because, okay, here's one thing. If you see a bunch of
Oh.
kids in the back of a pickup truck today, they're getting the people driving are getting arrested, right? That's not allowed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you see an
You don't know how many times I did that.
Yeah, see, an SUV cruises by, right? There's front row seating, middle row seating. Some of them have third row seating, others don't. There's a big ass parcel area. Okay. Kids shouldn't be in the parcel area, right?
No.
Okay. But the SUV of our time, what was the SUV of the 70s and 80s? What was the SUV of the 70s and 80s? They didn't exist as
Truck?
SUV. What's that?
Pickup truck?
Nope. There was a
What?
vehicle that had basically the same general dimensions, except it was not a truck-based vehicle. It was a car-based vehicle, the station wagon. When parents had station wagons, kids were clamoring to ride in the back. I still remember that. My parents had a station wagon. In fact, we went to go watch drive-in movies with this thing. And when we watched drive-in movies, my brother and I were in the back. Right, it's like a bed area. Sweet. Put out sleeping blankets. Right. You shouldn't put a kid in the back of a station wagon. Right. There's no seatbelts. There's no seats. Okay. It's even dangerous to put a dog back there.
I mean, shoot.
Right. We know better now. Right. So I mean, the world's changed a little bit, but I just think that kids today are just, and it shows in a lot of things. They're not as. A lot of kids today aren't as self-confident as other kids would be in the past. And sometimes you see them, I don't know, just they seem to lack the common sense.
I think that, but I don't know. Like with phones and AI, it's
With phones
strange
and
to
AI,
say
they should
that
be even more. They should be even smarter. I mean, but
it should be way
they're
smarter.
not. It seems like technology is a crutch almost.
True. I mean, but also like I believe in my man. What's his name? Elon Musk. It makes us androids. Like we literally like walking, talking androids, where it's just like all I gotta do is, I got extra. I can get all the information I need from this little
True.
device in my hand.
But take it away and people are lost. And even worse,
Yeah.
see, now this is the worst part about it. Now think about this, right? If everything you need, everything you need to know is being fed to you by this device, right?
Mm.
And this is why AI is crazy because, okay, ask AI to write you some sort of ask AI to write you a scholarly paper, okay, and it'll make stuff up. Okay, it's I don't know why it does it. It makes stuff up, right? I literally gave it a technical article to write to write a review and a summary of, right? And I reviewed what it wrote to the paper, and the paper based its information off of a total of 52 other papers. Okay?
Paraphrase everything.
No, that's the thing. So the original paper used 52 studies that were printed in 52 other literature, other articles that it took, and it condensed the information from 52 studies into this one, right? Now, under methodology, the paper that AI generated for me, it said that it took approximately 60 search results and out of the 60, selected 35 of them to go in depth with. That's nowhere in the paper that I asked it to use as the base. It made it up. And if I hadn't read the paper that I asked it to critique, I would never have known.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that, I'm like, wait a second. So I read the whole thing over and over again to make sure that wasn't the only piece of inaccuracy that AI had come up with. Oh, Raymond's out. Whoa, dude,
Yeah,
you're
it's that time, but I can still stick it in.
okay. So
Pause.
AI lies a lot about a lot of the things. They make stuff. I don't know why it makes stuff up.
Oh my God, it does lie. Oh my God. It even blocks you for certain things.
What do you mean it blocks you?
So like
It doesn't provide certain kinds of info.
it doesn't, yeah, and it doesn't make any type. Sometimes it'll block you if you're making like religious like artwork.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then like when you ask us, so you're keeping me from doing religious artwork. It was like I'm not blocking you from doing religious artwork, but some of your what you're requesting is triggering blocking material. Once again, I'm not blocking you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's talking in a third, fourth person.
It's
Where I
talking
was
in
just like,
circles. It's like it's saying,
yeah, like I realized that, and I was like, why are you arguing with the machine, Ray? Go around it.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's funny. You tell it things and it's making stuff up. You don't. Sometimes you ask it to find. You try to get it to create an argument for you, and it's making up facts to support your. And that's the funny part.
Oh no! Don't ask it. No, like don't ask it. What should I do? It's gonna tell you. Well, maybe you should do this, but if you do this, you'll be all right. You know.
But no, it's
It's
funny.
not
But
going.
that's why I say AI is dangerous because it's actually acting like a person, right?
Yeah.
See, those of us who have been in sales or trying to influence people have known that there are times when you're talking to somebody that it doesn't matter if you lie to them. Now, there's times you're talking to somebody that you just want them to see things a certain way. You'll never see that person again. You don't give a damn, right? You will try to use stories, and like anecdotal information to try to make a point that are complete fabrications. Like you'll say, "Oh yeah, I've done this many times," and it's a lie, right? You're lying to them just to get past the conversation, right? People do all the time. Okay,
Uh huh.
okay. Or you either lie or exaggerate to the point of lying, right? AI does that all the time. AI lies constantly. They're constantly making crap up, and it looks convincing.
Looks convincing. I mean, you gotta double check your AI. You can't
Yeah.
just go by what AI is what AI is saying. Like, I mean, for me, like AI is like I use it for brainstorming. I use it for making images, and even like when I do have it make images for me, I actually go back and do my own.
Yeah.
You
See,
know.
where AI is dangerous is like this. So let's say, for example, that the three of us have decided to talk about a specific topic today. Let's say that we
Mm,
decided to talk about Bigfoot, right?
mm,
Or like actually let's do something else. Well, let's say we talk about the Cold War, whatever, right?
mm,
Or talk about the rise of AI. Let's say that none of us are experts in that area, so we want to do some
mm,
research to learn a little bit about it, so that way we don't walk in cold, right?
mm,
Now, there's a couple ways you can do research. You can just you can go into Google and search yourself, right? Put in topics
right.
and have things pop up, or you can try to cut through all the BS quickly by having AI look for you. It's like, tell me a little bit about Bigfoot. And then AI will tell you a bunch of stuff, right? Now, here's where it's dangerous. AI has just told you a bunch of stuff. Half of it's probably BS, right? With no actual
Mm,
basis online to back it. Okay. But if you didn't research it and you went on this podcast and started repeating the things AI told you, now a live person is perpetuating the lie that AI just told, right?
yeah.
And somebody might trust you enough who watches this to repeat it again and again and again. And something that AI just completely made up has become a fact out there in the
Misinformation.
real world, right? Because somebody didn't fact check it. The same way
Hmm.
that, I mean, and let's face it, politicians, all of them are going to lie at some point in time. I don't care who they are. Even the honest ones lie because they got it. They're elected. They have politics is a popularity contest. Nobody votes for someone they hate,
No. Well, they
even,
voted for Trump.
no matter how good they are. Well, no, the people who voted Trump loved his ass, right? The people who voted for
Shoot.
Trump loved him, right? Specifically, and we're looking at you, Hillary Clinton. Nobody votes for somebody they hate. She's a highly effective government servant, right?
Oh, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, dude. Remember, she was okay. Secretary of State is not a position you reward somebody with. It's like,
No.
oh man, you were such a loyal person. I'm making you Secretary of State, right? Nobody,
Mm.
only person who probably ever did that, Trump. Okay,
Mm.
but no, Secretary of State is such a grueling, thankless job.
Mm.
Okay, you got to be pretty badass to be Secretary of State. Secretary of State is a negotiating position. Okay, that's Secretary of State. I mean, look at in the history, like the most devious people were secretaries of state. That's
Mm.
that's position, right? Okay. Um, she was an awesome Secretary of State. She did a really good job at it. She was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, she
Man,
was.
she destabilized Libya.
That's part of the job of Secretary of State. Man, remember, we
Man,
don't have to
man.
remember when I say she was highly effective. She got done what she wanted to get done. It doesn't mean that they're good people,
Okay, I get what you're saying.
right?
Yeah, you got to be effective to destabilize a whole country.
Nixon was an extremely effective president. He was not very likable. He was an
Yeah,
extremely effective president.
can't like nobody named
Okay.
Dick.
Nixon opened up China before his president. Basically, Nixon's very effective, and he's a control freak, and that's the reason why he finally got busted, because he would record every conversation that happened in the Oval Office. The recording
Mm.
device was built into the desk.
I mean, but that's a good thing, though.
What's that? No, but not
Huh?
when they don't know they're being recorded. He was
Oh, that's true. I
remember
get
these
it.
are surreptitious recordings. That's like
Mm.
us having this conversation around my kitchen table, and I'm recording for a podcast, and you guys don't know. Right? That's what that is. Okay.
Okay.
Nixon was very pragmatic. He wanted evidence of everything. He wanted to be able to refer back and know exactly what happened in his room, right?
Yep. I
And he
remember when you
did,
told me this. You
yeah,
lying.
and nobody knew, right? Now, Clinton was very much the same way. She was really, really good at her job. She can get anything done, right? Except get elected. Like, remember, Secretary of State's an appointed position. You're not elected to that. Somebody appoints you. Okay? She finally got elected to Senate. She was elected
Mm.
as a senator in New York, right? But among her own people, right? It's a state that elects one of their own, and she's one of their. I mean, like, they made, but she couldn't win. She couldn't beat Trump for president. A guy who had publicly declared that what's awesome about being a celebrity is, like, like the women, like, he said on a hot mic, you can grab him by the pussy. He actually said that, right? And the second he said that, she's like, I'm president, right? And anybody would have thought that you'd lose, right? But did he lose? No, right?
No.
It's a function of how likable he was to a certain demographic and how unlikable she was.
Do you think it had anything to do with the gender?
No, not at all. Not at all.
You just feel like she was just unlikable.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she was
Yeah.
extreme. I mean, like, she was not winning any charm competitions. I mean, she was humorless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
People loved her husband. Her husband was relatable. She was not. Okay. She was not a relatable American. When I you look at all the presidents and you can see something American in them, right? Actually, Nixon was a surprise. Nixon was not, there was zero charisma in that guy. Okay. And, him being beat by Kennedy early on, that was to be expected. And because Kennedy looked better on camera. Nixon was sweaty on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And Kennedy was wearing makeup. Nixon basically said, what are you putting that on me for? I'm not some pansy. He didn't want makeup on him because, like, that's for girls, right? But he didn't realize in a televised debate, makeup isn't just for, it's not free for how you look. It absorbs perspiration. Stops you from getting sweaty and glossy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy was like the first camera-ready president ever. Right? But Clinton was just unlikable. That's her defining factor. Right? Like, here's something funny. Bill Clinton had that Monica Lewinsky scandal in the White House. Right? Okay? What's nuts about it's this. Nobody felt bad for Hillary at the time. We all just saw him as untrustworthy because he had relations with an aide, right? Nobody ever saw. Nobody ever threw Hillary out there as a victim because her husband cheated on her. Nobody looked at it that way because Hillary was. I mean, a lot of Americans rationalized that if you had Hillary as your wife, you do that too. That's the way people looked at it. It's pretty bad, but that's how they looked at it. Hillary's not popular. And the thing about her is that, okay, so there's two kinds of super intelligent people. Okay, make no mistake. Bill Clinton was super intelligent. And he is super intelligent. He's still alive. Okay. Every president we've ever had has been extremely intelligent. Okay. They've all won that. It takes something to win. You can't be an idiot and win.
True.
Okay? You got to have something that took you there. Okay. So Clinton was one of our brightest shining stars as a president, right? He's super intelligent. And so is his wife. Hillary Clinton's extremely intelligent too. Okay. But they come off. Bill Clinton knows he needs to appeal to people. He knows he needs people. And so basically, he will get stuff done, but he'll make you feel good while he's doing it. Right? He gets stuff done for you, and he includes you in the process, and everybody loves what he does. Right? Hillary just gets stuff done. You don't even know she did it, but it'll get done. Right? And she'll basically be like, there, it's done. Boom. Throw it down and move on. She has very little time or patience for anybody else. Because she's smarter than they are. She's smarter than they are. She's moving faster than they are. She does not need their contribution. She moves on. Bill makes you feel involved. Two very, very different, super intelligent people. One has all the charisma. One does not. Right? So no, it was not a gender thing. She just wasn't what people wanted in the president. We typically want a president we like. Okay? That's really what it is. Or the president you need during the time. So I mean, like the Clinton, I mean, would there ever have been a time where she could have won? I mean, the only time I think that she could have won is in an era where she wouldn't have won anyway. I mean, like, there was an era where being a woman would have disqualified her, essentially. Not because they couldn't run, but because no one would have elected a woman. There was a time when that was the case, right? But those were the times where she could have won because those were the times where people didn't see their candidates. All they saw, the way that they reached out was through newspapers. There was no media back then. There was a time where there was no media.
Did they do radio?
Not in 1895.
Where did radio come in?
You got to realize that, okay, look, let's Google the first radio presidential debate, or the first radio presidential address.
Warren G. Harding, 1922.
There you go. Okay. Remember, when people ran for president, before that, they hit the campaign trail. They traveled the country on a train, but they didn't get to everywhere. They got to the major cities, right? And they had people putting out flyers and people stumping, basically getting people in fields and hopping up on a tree stump and talking to the people. That's why it's called stumping.
Okay, I found this on the web for can I get people empty in the field?
my phone's reacting. I said, but yeah, that's why. I mean, like you could have been a paraplegic and you could have won. No one would ever know.
Wasn't there somebody who was severely handicapped? Which one was that?
That was Franklin Roosevelt. He had polio as a kid. He was in a wheelchair for most of his life. Okay. And we didn't even know he was in a wheelchair. See, you could be in a wheelchair and we wouldn't know it. Right? America would not have elected a man in a wheelchair because any physical frailty was seen as an issue. There was something, we needed our leaders to be robust. We connected physical prowess with power. That's why, like, look up average height of U.S. presidents. Okay, look up average height of U.S. presidents, and you'll be surprised how tall these guys are. And of course, Lincoln was this freak. Lincoln had gigantism. That's why he was so tall. He was unnaturally tall. So when you get in there, Quentin, what how'd you get in there?
They're all like 6 feet-ish, but it's not giving me an average. Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
Well, no, just Google what is the average height of U.S. presidents.
It gave me a bunch of different articles.
Don't look at the article. There should be an AI thing telling you the average.
No, I got a whole bunch of them. Let me go to Wikipedia. Hang on. Oh, it's not giving it to me.
So you should be able to draw up a. Hold on.
Okay.
You should be able to draw up a browser. Can I bring this over here now? And you guys can't see it, but I'm Googling this.
Tell me what you find, because I got a bunch of sporadics.
What is the average height of all U.S. presidents? So I am getting a range of these guys.
Getting a whole lot of them 6'3" to 5'8".
Well, no, okay, so you look at the modern ones. Remember, the old ones don't count because remember, we've gotten taller as a species of people. So let's look at the ones, average height of all U.S. presidents after 1900.
Now I got 6 foot.
Okay, so let's see here. Oh, this is fun. I'm getting something showing them by height. You know, it's funny. Abraham Lincoln looked so tall. He's only 6'4". Lyndon Johnson was almost as tall as 6'3.5". Trump is 6'3". Jefferson 6. Man, okay, for that era, 6'2.5" is freaking huge. George Washington 6'2". That's nuts. Obama was 6'1". See, the modern presidents: Clinton 6'2", Bush 6'2", HW 6'2". Kennedy 6'1", Reagan 6'1". Let's see other modern ones. Gerald Ford 6 feet tall. Look at the modern guys. Nixon 5'11.5", almost 6. So Nixon is the shortest of the modern president. No, George Bush, George W. That's Bush 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bush 2 and Nixon are the two shortest presidents. Oh, and Biden. So Nixon, Bush, and Biden are almost 6 feet. They're 5'11.5". Let's see who modern. Oh, Dwight Eisenhower 5'10.5".
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking for the modern ones. Eisenhower's modern, right? Yeah, they're all. Yeah, the most modern presidents hover around 6 foot. The most recent ones, well, Trump 6'3", Clinton 6'2", George H.W. 6'2", Reagan 6'1", Obama 6'1". Yeah, they're tall people. Yeah, U.S. presidents have always been tall. Okay, especially for their era. I can't believe that Thomas Jefferson was 6'2.5". Same thing with Washington. Those men must have been giants in their time. Because the average height of a male in the 1700s was like 5'6". They were towering in their time. Wait, how do we get in presidential heights?
I don't even remember
I
now.
don't even remember that either. Oh my god. Raymond's crashing hard.
Yeah, man. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. I hate to say it like that. It's crazy.
What else happened this weekend?
Went to dinner. We went to, of course, work. Versus, what did I do Saturday? Saturday was kind of wild too. I forgot what I did Saturday. I was out on time. Dang, I can't even remember what I did Saturday.
You're losing days, man.
Yeah, man. Like it was crazy. Yeah, man. It was just a long weekend, man. And then I started finally doing this room.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, you can't see everything, but on the other side of the camera, there used to be a bed and stuff where I was kind of living in here, right? All that stuff is gone.
Oh, so it really is just a studio now?
It is just a studio right now. It's like stuff still all over the place, so it's time to start building into a studio again. So that's that's one of the things I'm going through right now too. I think what happened was so one of my older bed that kind of threw me off for like most of the week, where like most of my sleeping pattern has been thrown off because of this one particular night. I have been like pushing myself to make more content.
Okay.
So, of course it's like as soon as I finish doing whatever I gotta do, we straight back to the computer, right? So on I believe that was like Thursday, I had a mattress and like pretty much like the mattress was in immaculate condition.
Okay.
And I didn't want to just throw it away. So
Okay.
I put it up on OfferUp. And I remember my mom was like, nobody about to buy that. Oh yeah, they bought it.
How much? If we can
Well,
ask.
originally we agreed for $85.
A used mattress, $85.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get out to the place and I think it was like somewhere East LA, like Boyle Heights.
Oh, you have to meet him somewhere.
Yeah, because originally they were gonna come.
Okay.
And I waited. I think this happened during our during the Digenet class.
Okay.
I remember because I was listening to you guys and I fell asleep. And then I woke up, y'all still talking, and I was waiting on this person to respond to me. And when they finally responded, they was like, "Oh, we'll probably have to come tomorrow. I can't get a truck." I was bent on getting rid of this mattress. I was like, "No, we about to get rid of this mattress tonight. I'll bring it to you." When I got to the house, they stopped responding. And they left me outside for like an hour. I had to start banging on the door.
Okay.
Because I wasn't about to be in Boyle Heights and not get this mattress off. Like, it was already strange and sketchy. I pulled up to the house. There was a car in the driveway with the lights on. Nobody was inside of the car. Like, it was just all type. Then, like, I knew that they needed mattresses because I see all these mattresses. I guess they had bed bugs. See all these mattresses in front of their house.
Attention. Due to technical difficulties, this episode of the Digenet Podcast was interrupted. I appreciate you staying with us until the end. Seriously, you're amazing. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.